This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Mason, who's this episode brought to us by? All of us.
Us and the loyal weekly whack it
Yes.
is. Who's it brought to?
Yes.
Us. Them. It's not. This isn't a case of us versus them. We're all in it together.
Correct.
And we're all shaving with Harry Shavers. Harrys.com.
/shavers. That's not it. We'll
No.
talk about it later.
Okay, great.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com. I was going to say for. It's of. Do I say of? I should know. What are we, 196? Anyway, when we talk movies and comics and TV shows, my name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me as always, my co-host, Nick Mason.
I'm here too, and I can talk as well, sort of.
I really botched that.
Nah, it's fine.
What are we
That
doing?
was only That was 19 takes, ladies and gentlemen. That was the closest we got to a usable take, so we're taking it. It's very late here. We don't have time for another one.
We certainly don't, but do you have time for the It trailer too?
I saw it.
Are you? We were like, should we talk about this because it still looks good, but there's nothing too new in it. So you looked up the original trailer, sort of, or you tried to find it. What
As always, terrible.
Yes.
Look at a trailer from prior to
Yeah.
how many years? But I mean, what do you think the cutoff is where trailers became? When did trailers become good?
I don't know, because I'd imagine people will look back at trailers now and be like, "Oh, that's very quaint, isn't it?" Like,
That's true.
I don't know.
And definitely a formula will emerge.
Yes.
Everybody will be like, remember in 2017 when all the trailers did this and this and this, and there was
had retro pop songs.
Exactly, and there was
whatever,
blue lightning shooting into the sky or down from the sky.
Yeah, that's
one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I think probably after the voiceover, I guess, is probably the closest.
Yeah, after the great Don LaFontaine died.
Yeah. And also there's the that was like the Bram.
Oh, the Inception horn.
Yeah. Anyway, It.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a horror guy.
Me neither, but I am interested in this.
Yeah.
Have you read the book?
No.
So I read it relatively recently, and it's good. It's long, but a lot of the book is like it can be it is like a dimensional being or whatever.
Yes, right.
But it can be anything, and it chooses
Yes.
the form of a clown. And whenever it turns into something, like what always happens is it turned into a werewolf, but it was slightly scarier than a regular werewolf because
Sure,
there was maggots in its mouth. And then it's like it turned into a spider, but it was a slightly scarier spider,
right.
Because it had maggots in its
Yeah.
mouth.
Whoa! That's a big. If you ever read any H.P. Lovecraft, the creator of Cthulhu,
Yeah.
like, the modern interpretations of those characters and those monsters, it's always very evocative and very, descriptive. But a lot of his original work, it's like, it was a horror that was indescribable. Like, no, you couldn't describe it.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, you're a racist.
Have you seen?
Did you ever read Planetary, the comic book?
I did. Yeah. Hang on, did I? I think I did.
may
I
have
might be
done.
thinking of Planetoid.
Planetary was a team of sort of archaeologists. They uncover the secret history of the world, but the secret history is like superheroes. So
Right.
the first issue, they uncover what happened to all the pulp heroes.
Yeah.
And then maybe they find out what happened to like their equivalent of the Fantastic Four and etc.
I've not read this, but
There's a Planetary Authority crossover where Planetary run into H.P. Lovecraft, or one of the very old team members runs into him back in the day, and H.P. Lovecraft uncovers some like alien embryos, and he's like, "Sir, I believe these to be Negro eggs." It's like, it's real. And I'm like, that's a bit much. But then I read into the history of H.P. Lovecraft, and I'm like, no, that's fair.
That seems like something he would say.
Yeah.
If you do like H.P. Lovecraft, there's a YouTube channel called Ask Lovecraft, and it's an actor who people send him letters, and it's from the perspective of he pretends that he's a resurrected H.P. Lovecraft,
right.
answering like a modern day questions. It's quite good. Yeah,
Yep.
so check that out. Anyway,
There's a lot of it in the trailer, isn't there?
Too much it?
Well, by it I meant disgusting teenagers.
Sure.
But also, it's the clown. There's the Pennywise the clown.
Pennywise the clown,
There's too
yeah.
much. There's not too much, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like we do. It's not a trailer where they dance about it and go, okay, we'll give you a tiny little snippet. They're like, there's the clown.
It's here.
And I think that's because clowns are inherently terrifying.
Yeah, they really are, aren't
Yeah.
they? And I don't understand why people are being like, this isn't would be as scary as the original. The original one is scary if you watched it when it came out and you were a 4-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't watch it at the time, so when I see it now, it just looks ridiculous.
I feel the same about the original Exorcist.
Right,
I
yeah.
only saw that as an adult, and it's very funny. It's not scary in the least.
My mate's dad, you know my mate Joe.
Yeah, sure.
His dad's a builder. He's like an old school Italian.
This story better get a lot better real quick.
He's an old school Italian dude.
Oh, it's gotten better.
He's a great bloke. But after he saw that movie, he wouldn't go in a crawl space in a roof for like 5 years.
Wow.
Yes. And you're laughing at it like it's
Yeah. Well, that would have very negatively impacted his life's work and
Certainly.
his life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. But imagine what his life would be like if he wasn't scared by that movie.
Who knows? What else we got? You
Are they
excited?
going to do a remake of The Running Man?
Oh, you think that's the next one? Due
Maybe.
for it? Yeah.
Because that's
Stephen.
That's
King.
Richard Bachman that's Stephen King as Richard
Oh,
Bachman.
right, yeah.
And I think The Running Man is set now.
Right.
Like
I
it
could
said
find
2017,
that out for you. The book
29
or the TV show or the movie.
The book, I think, is set in 2017.
Okay. Wow. What an era. Mm-hmm. The movie's set in 2019.
Okay, right.
So yeah.
Well, that's it. That's going to appear in a lot of memes.
Yes.
And then that's going to build up some steam, and then people are going to be like, we're doing it.
Do people remember that movie fondly? The Running Man? I've seen it once and I'm like, oh, this ain't great, is it? It's just Arnold in spandex.
I've only seen it the once, yeah.
I think we probably hired it and went,
Right.
Remember there was that
Yeah.
era when we watched literally anything.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. That we had Time and No Lives. That
That's
was
right.
so good. The book's quite good, though.
Okay, cool.
It's less cartoony supervillain and more just a down on his luck dude just flying about the world.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Excellent. Do you think this is very good? James Cameron is looking to reinvent the Terminator franchise with a new trilogy. The rights are going to go back to him in like a year and a half.
Okay.
So he's in discussions with the current rights holder to be like, how do we get people to give a fuck about this?
Yeah, right?
Maybe make a good one, I guess, is the...
Yeah.
I mean, that's the simple response, but we've talked about this before. How do you do it, or do you do it at all? We just got the start of a new trilogy. It just happened.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
So would he wipe the slate clean? But it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the timeline is so ruined that it ultimately does not matter where you set the next one. Give us a Western one. Give us a World War II one.
Yeah.
I don't know. When he says it's the rights go back to him next year.
Yeah.
Is that the rights go back to him unless they make another
No,
one?
it's
no
his.
matter what. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So he's not going to direct them because he's doing avatars forever until he dies. I'd maybe just leave it longer than 4 years.
Sure, right, yeah.
To do it again, you know?
Yeah. Leave us demanding another one. I feel maybe.
And also he mentioned a while back, not in relation to this particular interview, that Arnold is going to be involved in some degree. So I guess, but also in the last one was like they redid the entire timeline.
Yep.
You know, so do you do that again? Like, I don't know.
A redo of a redo, maybe.
Yeah.
I had a thought. Give me a minute. It'll come back eventually.
Okay. We'll sit here in silence.
Good. That's what I want.
There will be no
I need
podcast.
silence. I need silence so I can think of the thing that I thought earlier.
Okay. Did you have a friend's dad who saw Terminator wouldn't go into a crawl space?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you wouldn't go into a sporting goods store. Because there'd be probably a man who's nude, save for a trench coat, putting on Nikes. And he's like, no, I can't do it. Oh. What if he's nude and running about? Guy just puts on sweatpants. He puts on a homeless guy's sweatpants.
Yeah.
No, just, ugh.
The continuity also doesn't line up with the original Terminator and the last one because the t-shirt that he gets,
Yes.
it doesn't, like, he gets it in a different place, so it doesn't make, anyway.
But yeah.
Who cares?
In the remake, it just says the 80s on it.
That's right, yeah.
Frankie say relax on it, so
Yeah.
whatever.
And I guess the other thing is he has a different face. So what is it?
He does,
doesn't
yeah.
matter, does it,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
What was my
A
thought?
promising 15 minutes, though. Opening 15 minutes of Genesis.
It really, yeah, it did. It really did. Terminator. The Terminator.
Apps. Social media.
No, you know, oh, that'd be it.
No, they did that. That's
Yeah,
what
they actually did that. Look, again, there's no such thing as a bad concept, I guess. And again, you know what? It's better than an emoji movie.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So this says, I think
So
it's...
what I'm saying is put it in the hands of a competent director and we'll get a good one. But give it some space to breathe.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe bring it back to the... Actually, you can't sort of bring it back to... Oh, maybe you can. Maybe give us a modern day reboot where Sarah Connor, it's the same as the first one, but it's set now. Maybe
Right.
that would work.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh God, here we go. There's no box office numbers yet for the Emoji Movie, but it's got 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not the worst movie that's gone through Rotten Tomatoes.
No. What is that? I think it's Bucky Larson is still 0%.
Yeah, right.
I believe.
There's a few, I think. There's not just the one, but I think there's...
And then that dude Armand White always ruins it. Like
he's the Mr. Contrarian. Is the most contrarian...
the worst man on the internet.
Yeah. He's always finding deeper meaning in terrible trash and then ruining
Rubbishing,
everybody's fun if everybody enjoys something. Yeah.
Do you think, like, he doesn't genuinely believe any of that stuff, does he?
That's the thing. It's impossible to say.
I've never seen him in an interview, so I can't. I know. I can't get a read
I don't know.
on
He
him.
seems very pretentious.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think maybe what he does is he just says something contrarian, and then he uses a lot of big words to justify just being contrarian.
Right. Okay.
And he digs deep to find some deeper meaning that we don't see. You know,
What an asshole.
seems like an arsehole. Yeah.
So I'm so glad this is not doing well.
Right.
I don't think it's going to have it cannot do well at the box office because kids don't want to see this, surely. Like kids don't actually care about emojis. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they use them, but it's not like I don't need to see a world built around it. Because do you know the concept?
They all live in your phone.
Yes.
But there's a one I know because I read an article on it's on monetizing concepts and like
Right.
and like they want to, you know, it was a company just is like licensing concepts and attempting to, you know, it's how they have to attempt to build a story around something that doesn't have a story. Like
Battleship.
Battleship. Somebody has bought the rights to Fruit Ninja, the iPhone game.
See, that at least is something, sort of.
But there's apparently I've never played it, but there's no ninjas in it.
No,
Like, there's no
you
character.
swipe your finger across the fruit.
right.
But if somebody said this is a movie, I mean, we got the Angry Birds movie. It's like a rung below that in terms of personality.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
so,
Yeah. But
yeah.
at least in the Angry Birds movie, you have the birds and the pigs, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah, and apparently that's not a terrible movie either.
right. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Emoji Movie, the Met emoji. So what apparently happens is
Because he has other feelings.
he's got other feelings. So it's sort of like a Wreck-It Ralph, where be the person you're supposed to be, and it's sort of also like Inside Out.
Right. Sure.
Because you've only got the one emotion, or you're only supposed to stick to the one emotion. And then when you grow up, you go into a little box inside of someone's phone, and then you get used.
Sure. Right. Okay.
And then the climax of the movie is that they have to get to Dropbox.
Yeah.
So,
It's just I'm looking at the best lines of reviews from the Emoji Movie.
Okay.
The AV Club said the plot is really an excuse to hop from one app to another. There are stops in the lands of Candy Crush, WeChat, Just Dance, Instagram, Spotify, and for the kids, Dropbox. So that's pretty great. Entertainment Weekly says, this is pretty good. There is an awareness pulsing through this movie as it pulses through our own lives that so much of what once seemed like progress was the opposite of progress, that our dreams of a better tomorrow were always leading us to a miserable today. So that could be about anything, but it's about the Emoji Movie.
that's great. Enough on the emoji movie.
Let's see.
People have requested that we say it.
Yeah.
No.
For a long time, the
Not
New York
saying-
Times says,
Yeah.
for a long time, Hollywood has been propagating the idea that the panderingly, trendily idiotic can be made to seem less so by polishing it up with bright, shiny gloss and enlisting engaging, talented performers and writers. I can't be entirely certain of this, but I would say the Emoji Movie takes this notion to the outer limits of credibility.
Yeah, because I guess after the Lego Movie and you know, and like Wreck-It Ralph, people are like, oh, you know, you can take like a basic concept and build something really quite clever around it. This is clearly not an example of that.
Nah, good on them.
Good on them. They gave it a go.
Didn't they, though?
What's next? What do we got here? Might have a director for Bond 25.
Is it Nolan?
Well, that he did mention that.
Yeah,
but
right.
he's not the front runner. The front runner is a guy called Jan Demange.
Okay.
He's got an upcoming movie called White Boy Rick. But
Okay.
the thing I know
So
him
that sounds
for,
like an indie film, so
Sure.
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, he did Dead Set.
Oh, the Charlie Brooker TV miniseries
Yeah.
about zombies in the Big Brother household.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's got Ray Winston's daughter, whose name I can't remember. She's the lead. Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah,
it's,
nice.
It's not fun.
That's it's
Quite harrowing.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, but no, I think then yeah. So That seems like a good choice. That's a good
weekend
show.
box office, Emoji Movie is in a close battle with Dunkirk for number 1, apparently.
But it's Dunkirk's second week.
Oh, okay, right. That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Nice.
God, what a world.
Yeah.
And it's also got a release date.
Okay.
November 8th, 2019. So a bit over 2 years from now.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe probably the last Craig one. It would have to be.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, surely. So
But again, like I feel it's a weird spot
to end it.
because he's had his character arc, and now it's just a mission.
Yeah.
So are they going to kick off another character arc?
Or they kill his wife or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because remember he fell in love again. And
But then Craig quits, and then you have another Bond
continuing
the quest for revenge of his dead wife.
They should probably, if it's 25, start fresh.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. Do what you
Eat
want.
fresh.
Man. Eat fresh.
Subway
also.
sponsorship.
That's right.
Imagine just a Subway with a Rolex around it. just a foot long with a Rolex on it. Yum, yum, yum.
Or an Omega.
That's probably going to be an Omega.
Yeah. Oh, great.
He's just in his Aston Martin, just he's got to get some energy for the mission, and he opens the glove compartment and there's a hot Subway foot long in there. Yum, 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 yum.
Jared Leto is up for the lead role in Bloodshot.
Yeah, okay, Valiant's Bloodshot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Jared Leto Johnny Depping it, being in everything until people realise they don't like him. Or do we like him?
No, because nobody likes him.
So nobody likes
Oh,
Jared
no, maybe
Leto.
he is, though, because he was in Dallas Buyers Club and he won the Oscar.
Yep,
So he's coasting. Is what he's doing.
He was the Joker in the same way that Johnny Depp was Jack Sparrow. It's that kind of role.
But I think maybe...
Blade Runner is in that.
Yeah, I think maybe what it is he's won the Oscar,
Yeah.
and then he's gotten a lot of offers, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to use my incredible my incredible acting talent on Suicide Squad. Oh, they didn't need any acting talent on Suicide Squad. They just wanted me to stand on the spot and say my lines. Okay, well, I'm going to be in this movie. They don't really need me for blah. I think he's going to do the Johnny Depp where eventually he just does roles and he says the lines and he gets out. I feel. And
Okay.
You're right.
So he's the new Johnny Depp.
He's the new Johnny Depp, yeah.
Until he does something awful or people get sick of it.
Yeah. Has he done anything awful yet? Maybe he hasn't.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll see how that goes. But no, I mean it's good. It's good that we're getting that movie. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're going to do the nanotechnology? Well, that's what it is. But there's a new comic which is quite good, isn't he? Where he's the former assassin and he has to get back his nanobots.
Yeah, there's a few series now because the premise now is that he's not the original Bloodshot. There's been like a World War II Bloodshot and a Vietnam Bloodshot and etc. So
yeah, okay,
it's pretty good. I like that.
It's a good one.
I like a lot of Valiant stuff.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting when all these Valiant movies kick off because
Yeah.
hopefully they'll do something completely different to Marvel and DC.
I saw a press photo recently.
Yeah, was it Jason, the Power Rangers guy, the Green Power Ranger?
No, it was a whole bunch of Bloodshot heroes back to back, kind of like, and one's Exo Manowar, but he's not wearing the armor. He's just got like a flaming sword. Have you seen that photo?
Is it a photo or is it like a Comic-Con?
No, it's a photo. I'll look it up.
All right, I'll also look it
Let's
up.
both look it up. Let's leave this in. We need absolute silence while we look this up.
I don't even know what I'm looking for here.
Okay, I'm bloody find it. I'm bloody find it, alright.
Yeah, the Green Power Ranger though they do that. It's Wolverine versus the Terminator video,
Oh, sure,
the
sure,
live
yeah,
action
yeah,
one.
yeah.
The Green Power Ranger did one, and he was Bloodshot,
Okay, right.
and so there's been kind of call for him to do it.
You know what? Maybe I made it up.
Seems like something you'd make up. Mm-hmm. You lying sack of shit.
No, what? It might be for Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, TV series 2017.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonder if that's tied into.
This. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows how the universe is going to work?
I don't know.
Man.
Next thing.
Next thing.
There was some Star Wars images leaked this week.
Oh, yes, I've seen them.
Of the various Star Wars characters, but the one that people are talking about they're hot under the collar for
yes.
is the Snoke image. As I showed you, I got anonymously sent these like a few days before this came out.
We've seen some stuff that isn't even out there.
That's right. Nothing spoilery. But,
here it is. It's the cover. It's cover for the Matt Kent Ninjak Shadow Man Rapture book, and that's
live action.
That's Exo Man. No, I guess it's just a.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, I'm okay with it.
All right.
Does that sword fire all the way down to the handle?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Too hot to
Bit
handle.
ouchy, yeah, if you ask me.
Okay.
Derek Theller as Exo Manowar. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you to that person for sending me through those things.
Yeah.
What did you think of Snoke, whose name I can't say because someone will get fired? Not us, though.
You've said it, though. It's Snoke. Yeah. he looks
like a man.
He looks like a melty man.
Yeah.
He's just a man.
Does that throw all your Snoke theories off, Mason?
He's probably just a man.
Everything you knew about Snoke has been twisted on its head.
I feel that it really does lend some credibility to the idea that he was just that stormtrooper that cracked his head.
Right, okay, yeah.
Imagine the balls on the creators of on the director of Force Awakens and etc. if they were like, it's just him.
There's no such thing as a bad concept, Mason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've said that for years and years or possibly minutes. But imagine.
Yeah.
What if that were the twist?
What if it was?
And he's just sworn revenge because he cracked his head and all his co-workers made fun of him. And then he's like,
They're watching the hollow footage again and again.
Yeah, and maybe he cracked his head and then he got ridiculed by his co-workers and they made him do latrine duty or whatever. So he's just mopping up and he sees the proton torpedo coming at the Death Star. And so he gets into an escape pod and he gets out. And then, the Death Star's destroyed, but he makes it out and he's like, I'm swearing revenge.
I'll be back.
But against who, though?
Yeah, he's floating in a toilet out to the depths of the galaxy.
Oh, that's, you know what? Because he has to float in the toilet for like years. And he has to drink his own pee.
That's
constantly
why he
recycled.
looks that way.
That's why he looks that way, because the pee's melted his circulatory system. But he's driven mad and he's like, I'm going to get them all because they made me. And that's, okay. Good theory, me.
It's a great theory.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, there was the Darth Plagueis theory, which I was sure that's who it was going to turn out to be. There's hints towards the book that it's a man who just went to the edges of the galaxy of known space and learnt some new stuff. There's other things that suggest that he's an original Sith or original Jedi who's come back to be like, I'm going to, do this my way, old school pee drinking way, floating in the toilet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the creators have come out and said it is a new character. So we're not going to probably find out it was anybody. Also, who can it be?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? That it's going to be satisfying, really.
Exactly. And again, it's The Force Awakens is the soft reboot in the sense that if you can understand all of it without knowing any of the previous backstory. So to reveal the villain is somebody from the first three.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, right?
Lando.
Oh, what if it's Lando? The pee has bleached his skin.
I think it's strange that a lot of movies and The Force Awakens, which I quite like, is guilty of this.
Yes.
It's not so much that it's a mystery, it's just a mission. It's just a lack of information leading to...
How so?
Well, like, who is Snoke? What happened to Luke? All these kinds of things. The mystery is just, you're just leaving bits of information out. It's things like like Han Solo says to Maz Kanata, hey, where'd you get that lightsaber? She's like, another day. Is it? Just say, he gave it to me.
Right,
like,
sure.
why is that a mystery?
I
You're just
understand.
leaving shit out for the sake. It's that whole Lost kind of thing where it's not important enough where you can't just answer it on the fly.
Yeah.
Why is there several mysteries set up which can't possibly pay off?
Again, it's the solve it in a post-it note situation.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody sent it to me on Twitter. It was a whole bunch of movies that were solved with post-it notes. So it was like a post-it note for Ariel to give to like the prince or whatever in Little Mermaid. It's like, hey, I traded my voice for whatever. I'm looking at, here's the thing. It would solve everything. So
Yeah.
sorry I don't have your name here, but the lightsaber could just say I got it from Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Luke ran away because X, Y,
Yeah.
whatever, yeah. Oh, they do kind of cover that anyway.
That's true.
Whatever. Anyway. Great. We've
Yeah,
got...
you know what? You're right, though. I do hate the idea of a character who's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
The rules of the universe say I can't, except for the Phantom Stranger. DC's Phantom Stranger, who I like.
Well, that's what he is.
Yeah.
He's the guy, he can't tell you that
Can't
shit.
tell you that, yep.
Anyway, yeah, all right. We've got a scoop, though, Mason.
Scoop.
The hottest scoop.
Ooh.
Scoop it out.
Oh, it's my scoop, is
Yeah.
it? Okay, right.
It's in the old email.
Our famous segment, Hot Scoop or a Shot of Poop, which is a segment in which we tell you a hot scoop, and if the scoop turns out not to be true, James has to take a shot of poop. He promised he would.
Did we record that when we said that? I don't think we did. So listen, I will do a shot of poop.
Good.
I'm going to go on the record.
Nice, good. Okay, I'll just dig that up. Here we go.
What do we got?
Well, we're not going to say the name.
No.
But, okay.
This is Han Solo related?
Yep. So Han Solo related. He was talking to some friends who are working on Han Solo.
Yep.
Number 1.
Ready.
Also, as with our segment Hot Scoop or a Shot of Poop, this could be true or it could be lies. Once again, we have literally no way of verifying whether this is true or not.
Yes. Don't report it on any website.
Don't report it on any websites. Or do.
If you do, don't credit us.
Or do. Number 1. His friends were telling them about Woody Harrelson and his prunes without any questions.
Whoop.
So he thinks this is legit. So in the past, we've received information that Woody Harrelson only eats organic prunes, and he will step down the production of a movie.
He will step on a man's neck
until he gets his prunes.
Yeah.
Point number 2. Disney love Ron Howard, and they are, from the sounds of things, reshooting about 80% of the movie.
Jesus.
Doing one scene a week, apparently.
Is that good? Is that enough?
I don't know. Who knows how time works?
Yeah.
The costume and camera people are all signed on to work on it till Christmas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Number 3, Jason Momoa has been on the set. Cameo, question mark?
Potentially.
Say we said it.
Well, there's that rumor that they're going to get a famous person in a stormtrooper outfit in every movie. Because remember, Daniel Craig is in episode 7.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I won't spoil it, but there's someone who's going to be in 8. Actually, no, there was no one in Rogue One, I think, as far as we know. So maybe that's not the case.
Right,
anyway, sorry, go on, Mason, continue.
Oh, yes. Number 4, one of the costume people was sent... some of the costume people were sent, like, luxury hampers from Disney.
Very nice.
Posh gifts.
Yeah.
And pay rise. They all got pay rises because apparently there was an actor in a full prosthetic suit which caught fire around them. So
Jesus, how does that happen?
Don't know. So yeah, the costume person put out the fire and pulled the actor out of the suit. So
that's lucky because a lot of those things you're like sewn into. And
yeah,
there's like
right.
bits
Exactly.
stuck to your head.
Well, that's the thing I've always feared as someone who it's never happened to. But you know, when back in the day they used to make if they were going to build you a mask, like a prosthetic mask, what they would do is they would like cover your entire head and then put like straws up your nose or whatever.
They still do that.
That's
yeah.
You could die.
Yeah, you could die. Yeah.
What if you've got a cold or something and 2 straws up your nose isn't enough to get the oxygen you require? You'll die.
Yeah. What if it just pours straight up your nose?
Oh, no.
You'll die.
Yeah.
So you're saying you never want a head cast?
No.
I guess also they can do it digitally now.
Yeah.
They could scan you digitally and then print your head if they wanted to.
They could do that.
But I know they still do those molds. Like it still happens. Yeah.
Isn't that weird that that's one of my fears, but it'll never happen. Why would it?
You never know, Mason.
I guess that's true, yeah.
That's you know what? We should petition for you to get a wax figure.
Why?
Like a life-size Madame Tussauds
No.
style. Have you ever seen Madame Tussauds, the wax figurine?
No, not in person, no.
Some are great, some are really off-putting.
I know I've seen a lot of people I know hugging the wax figure of Hitler. So that's a good one.
That's a great one.
It's the old standard there.
Also, they big up the height on them because I remember when I was there was one in Melbourne I went to when I was like 14, and I was a little bit shorter than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Knee high to a grasshopper.
That's right.
Or a Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and then I went about 3 or 4 years ago. I went to the one in London, and he was like 6'7". Like he'd grown. He was taller. He was grown taller. Yeah, so there you go.
Wow. Do you think every 6 months or so they email the likeness, the person that they've made the likeness of, and they're like, "Hey, listen, Arnie, just so you know, Brad Pitt's he's gonna be 2 inches taller in a couple of weeks. So you wanna spend a little green? You wanna spend a little of that Terminator 7 money, and we'll build you up. We'll give you some elevator shoes. But if not, you're gonna look pretty weedy.
Ridiculous. Anyway, those hot scoops. What do you think? Validity? Seems reasonable enough.
Yeah,
He's been very reliable in the past to this person.
That's true, yeah. Okay, I think maybe they're onto something.
I wouldn't surprise me that they're doing 80% of this stuff though. Like reshooting.
Yeah, right, okay.
It was the disaster that Disney was saying, or, alluding to. Then they'll have to reshoot a lot of it. But it does also come out in May. So
yeah, right.
And it's still coming out in May. They're not pushing it back as far as we know. But yeah, so bloody hell. But also, it's like that thing we talked about with Justice League. If they've got the special effects, that's already working. The action set pieces are in place. The Millennium Falcon's probably flying through a whatever. Like you can do that independent of shooting stuff.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
When you said wherever, I immediately went to laundromat. The Millennium Falcon's
like a giant laundromat.
No, it's a regular sized laundromat. It's in and out in like 2 seconds, and that man's business is ruined.
Great.
It's like a suburban. It's like a London suburban laundromat. There's bubbles everywhere. There's bubbles and loose change everywhere, and just a crowd immediately swarms it and grabs all the coins.
Fantastic. Mustache news. We're going to talk about this.
This is very good.
Right, so...
Can I take the lead on this
absolutely you can.
So apparently, they've had to do some reshoots on the set of Justice League.
Yes.
With Henry Cavill.
Yep.
The man himself, the Superman.
The Superman.
Superman in Justice League confirmed. We got it.
Hot scoop.
Hot scoop.
Nobody's eating poop today.
That's right. But they've had to bring him back, but he's the villain. Henry Cavill is the villain in Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah.
For which he's grown a ridiculous mustache.
I think he looks good.
It looks pretty good.
Because he's very handsome, though. That's why.
Yeah, see, that's... yeah.
Like us, we couldn't pull off that mustache.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But apparently, there's been a tiff between, I guess, Warner Brothers and Paramount over whether or not he's going to shave the mustache to go back and film Justice League. And Paramount have won the tiff, and so...
Well done.
So Superman is currently on set filming with a mustache.
And what are they going to do?
They're going to CGI the mustache, I guess.
Yes.
Nice. This is what we've always been waiting for, honestly. This is what I feel. This is one of the. This must be a hypothetical I feel we may have discussed before. Maybe not on the show,
right? Yeah.
But like this is, you know what? It's the Cesar Romero as the Joker.
It's exactly it.
Where they just
the grease paint.
They just grease painted over it because he refused to shave it. That's incredible. I love that. There's had to be negotiators on this.
Yes.
They're like. So he's gonna. What I think is they're gonna be like, hey, can we borrow Henry Cavill for this? And they're like, sure. Like they're at like the Chateau Marmont having lunch, like two executives, like a Warner Brothers and a Paramount executive, and they're like, oh, so we can have Henry back for a few days, can't we? And they're like, oh, sure thing. And he's like, all right, well, we'll shave that mustache and we'll get it filmed. See you later. And the guy's like, excuse me. Well, we'll just shave the mustache. No, you will not. And then they both snap fingers and lawyers appear with briefcases, and they're like, and then they immediately start yelling at each other. I think that'd be pretty good.
Because I was speaking to Hollywood Pete earlier this week.
Oh yeah, friend Hollywood Pete, sure.
And because he's got some experience in special effects and filmmaking and whatnot, and he was saying by far it would be easier to CGI on a mustache than take one off,
right?
Because you have to get the lip movement right, like that.
Yeah,
that's hard. This is going to cost millions of dollars.
Oh yeah,
yeah, to get this right.
And you could exactly, you just shave it off and then you can just draw it on.
Yeah,
but with this you have to, because with a mustache it's the one piece.
It's the one piece. Yeah.
If you have to paint over it and then draw on lips,
the
lips have to move.
People have done photoshops and video of Superman with mustaches. Like they've taken existing footage and it looks fine.
Yeah.
So it's very possible to do this. But I think it really is that case of, like you were talking about, it's two studios just like we're not budging on this.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. And to them, millions of dollars means nothing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Warner Brothers could also even say, listen, we'll pay for the CGI mustache for you to put it back on.
Yeah. I'm sure it was discussed.
It'd have to have been.
Yeah. Final offer, we'll pay for the CGI mustache. And then the director of Mission Impossible 6 is like, no, it will not look authentic. I'll be able to tell, and that's what's important.
Well,
Henry will be able... See, that's the thing. But you know what I also bet they discussed? I bet they also went, like both sides went, well, Henry won't be able to act properly if he's got, like, one side will be like, he won't be able to be Superman if he's got a mustache. It's going to distract him. And the other guy will be like, but he's had a mustache in all the other scenes, so he's going to have a cold upper lip while he films the rest of it, and he's going to look cold. He didn't look cold in all the other scenes. You know?
I want to see behind the scenes footage of this.
This is going to be so good.
I need to see it. I think it's one of these things where it's never going to come out.
Oh,
like,
no,
we're never going to see it.
We absolutely will.
Like, and I'd love it if they just put like a green matte paint. Like they've just put, like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like a green sticker over it to make it easier in post-production.
Or one ping pong ball.
Yeah.
And one ping pong ball in between his nose and his lip. I think maybe it'll be under wraps for a long time, but then we'll see like that. Remember there was, there's a couple of shots of Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Right.
It'll come out like that.
So like 20 years time or whatever. Yeah.
Also, it'll also probably appear as like in the future as a meme, and people pretend like he had a mustache the whole time. Or like, can you remember in 2017 when Superman had a mustache? Superman's been around long enough that his characters had a mustache. Not true.
That's very funny though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But
There's the meme that it's a Avengers comic panel.
yeah.
And it's Iron Man and Captain America, and it says like Iron Man saying, "What you need is some good solid dick from an Iron Man."
Very good.
And it goes underneath. It's like, these comics have been going so long that dick used to mean advice. No, it didn't.
That's not
Somebody's
a thing.
just photoshopped the word advice out and put dick in there.
When is that ever?
It's never ever. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I think that's because there's that Joker's boner comic.
Yeah,
that's
that one's real.
Yeah, that was a real one. Yeah. Look, I don't know, man.
This is going to be great. I cannot wait for the first set photos of this.
Yeah, it's gonna. But also, this is nothing but good news for Mission Impossible because,
Mustaches.
well, yeah, because it's got that movie in the public consciousness already.
That's true,
And when that
yeah.
movie's coming out, like, there will be buzz around it for this very reason.
Yeah, right.
So everybody wins, Mason.
But do you think though the buzz would be bigger if we all knew that he had a CGI mustache?
I would find that so distracting. I'm gonna find it distracting in Justice League because I'll be looking for it the whole time. Yeah.
There'll be jumping pixels
that's
all over
right,
his
yeah.
upper lip. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I did a video this week on the dumbest CGI in film.
Oh yeah.
It's off the back of this because there's a whole lot of stuff where it's just why would you do that? Anyway,
right.
I'll link it below if people want to check it out. But
Nice.
anyway, this is the age we live in apparently.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
There's a guy just, and I bet the lawyers are also like they're making bank off the back of this mustache discussion. So they're trying to stretch it out as long as possible. They're making backroom deals over the mustache. They're like, hey, they're in a bar later and they're like, why don't we suggest this? And then they'll go back and forth for a week on it and we'll really clean
Bit
up.
of dough.
Bit of dough on this, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mason, this segues perfectly into our sponsor for this week.
Oh, fantastic.
Harry's Shavers.
Oh.
Even if you've got a mustache,
That's
you
right.
have to shave the rest of your face.
That's right.
That's-
I've got a beard.
And?
Got to shave that neck.
I also have to shave my neck and also contouring. I'm thinking of
Contouring?
shaving everything off. I haven't done it for like 3 years. I don't know if I'm ready.
You look like a dumb baby with grey hair. I mean, do what you want, but that's how you're going to look. You look smooth and
Smooth and old.
and toned and old. You'll be very confused.
I will be.
Your kid will be like, "Are you my dad or my brother? What's happening? My granddad? I don't know." Anyway,
I just want to, every few years I do it. And
Yeah.
I've left it too long just to kind of say, maybe I'll do it this week. I don't know.
right.
Yeah, but no pictures because I feel like my face has lost all its definition.
oh, that's true.
what I mean? Yeah.
Because I often wonder about that, the jawline.
Yeah.
Like if I shave this off, do I still have a jawline? Maybe I don't anymore.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am scared. And you should also be scared.
I am.
For me.
I am.
Okay, good.
Anyway.
Yeah. Harry's,
Anyway, if you want to take a walk on the wild side and shave off your beard and see if you still have a chin,
Yeah.
use Harry's. Harry's razors.
It's a great razor. They're
They're
so
real
confident that you're going to love their blades. They're going to give you a free set when you sign up for harrys.com/weeklyplanet and you just pay $3 for shipping, which is a phenomenal deal.
And that first one lasts for a very long time.
It does last a really long time.
Like, and again, we've talked about this before, but you buy one in the supermarket, certain brand, won't name, but everybody has one.
Yep.
At some point, gets one. And you do like 4 days and they're done.
And it's very expensive.
It's very expensive, exactly. And then you
Yeah.
just got to chuck it. And you're like,
Apparently over 3 million guys have already switched over to Harry's. That's a lot of guys, Mason.
it's a lot of guys.
Sounds like something happened at your mum's house.
Oh,
Go.
jeez, what? Bloody hell, all right?
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
What else we got? Jeff and Andy, two ordinary guys, were fed up with paying for overpriced razors. So they started Harry's Shavers to fix that.
Again, economically probably not good for them, but for us,
Great
Primo.
deals. They brought their own German factory with over 100 years of blade making experience to ensure the highest quality. What else we got here? You can get a free trial from Harry's today. $13 of value if you sign up, and like I said, it's just cover the $3 of shipping. You get a weighted ergonomic razor handle, 5 precision engineered blades with a lubricated strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel. It's more of a foam. I don't
rich
know.
lathering, that sounds like bloody night over at your mum's house.
Hey, come on, mate.
That's right. How low have we sunk?
I know, right? A travel blade cover. To get your free trial, go to harrys.com/weeklyplanet right now. That's harrys.com/a-weeklyplanet.
Harrys.com/weeklyplanet. Sounds like a night over your bloody mum's house. Getting a good deal. on a website. Maybe for your dad, get him a gift.
Ah, come on.
Nah, I went back down from that one.
Now, Mason.
All right, cease your prattling, James.
Okay, sorry.
About whatever we're talking about just then.
I'll stop.
If you could.
I have.
Hey, here's a question for you. When you were a kid and you were listening, you were listening with rapt attention to the radio, Triple J, you were loving it. When you were watching the TV, watching ABC TV, you were loving the Gruen transfer.
Yes.
When you go into the comedy festival and laughing your ass off with thousands of other people, did you ever think for any moment that at some point you'd be sitting in a room with your childhood hero, me, ever in your life?
Every day is a blessing. I'll tell you that much.
But as a side note, we've brought in a very special guest who may very well have been on the radio Triple J, who's been on TV, who's had a million billion shows at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, sellout shows. It's Wil Anderson.
It's bloody Wil Anderson.
Hello.
Hey, mate.
Hello.
We don't clap
that was very good, actually.
Oh, thank you. I just
I
thought
like
of
that
that.
whole bit.
Oh, I did a bit.
I was like, this actually my appearance on this show is not going to be as good as that bit.
Oh, no. Disagree.
It also, for a start, I was just like, man, he's just making me feel real old.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when you were just born
Yeah,
and you were
right.
watching The Glass House?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like I loved Adam and Will at school. Like I was really upset when.
You can say Adam and you. He's
Sure,
here. He's
that's
right
true.
here.
Yeah, that's right. You're right here. And I remember when you got taken off, I was like, "This is bullshit." I can't even remember who replaced you. I think I just stopped listening. It was a sad day for me.
I mean, just for the record, we didn't get taken off.
no, sorry. I should
I mean, just let's
Come
not
on.
rewrite history,
Yeah,
guys.
you opted out.
We opted out. We walked away, and we did. And like in retrospect, this is crazy. Like, but we told people at the start of the year, and then we're just like took a 1 year lap of honor.
Yeah, right.
That's
right.
essentially, it was like, people are really going to need
Yeah,
some
yeah.
time to mourn this. So
Absolutely.
we'll get them used to it at the start of the year. Hey, we're leaving. Oh no, not for a year.
Isn't that what Hamish and Andy are doing at the moment?
Yeah.
They're doing their lap of honor, aren't they?
I mean, it really feels like like somebody saying to someone they're married to, I'm going to leave you,
Yeah.
but in a year.
That's right,
Get your
yeah.
affairs in order.
Yeah.
Get the grieving period done, and then I'll just wave bye-bye at the end. It'll be great.
Whatever it is you liked about me, I'll still
Yep.
do that for a year. We'll go to some old places you used to love, but in a year, I am gone. So enjoy me now.
I'm glad we've got you for this though, because speaking of Charlie, your co-host for Tofop,
Yes.
you're a big Batman fan. Well, obviously that's evident to anybody who's listened to Tofop at all, which is probably a lot of people listening to this. You even have a little disclaimer at the start of your show, which is Batman centric.
It particularly started though because when we started doing the podcast, it was kind of the era of the Nolan Bat.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
you've
right.
been doing yours 7 years.
Yeah,
right?
7.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to get good sometime. That's what we're determined. By year 10, we think by year
Yeah.
10 it might get good.
Absolutely.
That's
And
the
we'll,
dream.
and we'll actually be able to publish every episode we record. But
Except for Superpod.
so, I loved Batman from when I was a kid though,
Yeah.
because as people might have seen when Adam West recently passed on, recently died, his real name wasn't Adam West. That was his like show business performing name, and his real name was Wil Anderson. Like that's true.
Wait.
yeah, William West Anderson
No
is
shit.
Adam West's real name. Yeah. So from when I was a kid growing up with TV's The Batman, I was also aware that TV's The Batman had rejected my name because it would be no good for a career in show business.
That's right.
That's disheartening. We've never actually, because we've been saving talking about the Dark Knight Trilogy for something special to happen. A Batman movie, another one or something. And we thought this is a perfect opportunity. So we'd love to talk about that with you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Not around you.
Not around
Yeah.
you.
I mean, I'd enjoy that, to be honest.
Look how much we know about Batman. Here we go. Here we go.
I got to be honest, I already know my opinions.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'd be glad to just listen to yours for a while.
Do you remember going into what did you expect of Batman Begins going in 2005? Were you like, this is going to change the world in a way that Batman and Robin didn't? It had been 7 years since that. I don't know if you remember.
Here's the thing.
The backlash.
I've always, because I've always loved Batman, I haven't, since rewatching some of those films, I've realized they're terrible. But at the time, I loved Batman enough, and I loved the idea. We didn't live in this world that, we live in now, where
very
there's another
different,
superhero movie like next week
That's
that you can
right.
go and see.
Yeah.
You were just like, they're making a movie about Batman? That'll do.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel I've had the opposite reaction in that I think at the time I remember I was sort of at that angsty post-teen era where I'm like, these movies are terrible. I hate them so much. And in retrospect, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Batman and Robin's fun. Like it's camp and it's dumb, and that's I'm on board with that, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I rewatch those movies whenever they are on TV, which is about every week.
Yeah, right.
So, there's particular moments that you just come to love. Like,
Yeah.
there's a scene in the Michelle Pfeiffer one, and she's great.
Yeah, sure.
She's really fantastic in that movie. But there's a scene like where they like mistletoe can be deadly.
That's
You
right.
eat it,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things now.
weird shit
Because we
that movie.
googled, like, and I'm not even sure it is. Like, I think that's actually even a lie. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
think, like, you'd have to eat a lot of mistletoe to die, basically, right? So
Yeah.
unless you're having a whole bale of mistletoe,
Mistletoe, right.
right, it's a very flawed premise.
It's more the thorns in your stomach that's killing you there, I feel.
But I imagine that mistletoe, like sometime in the next decade, will be revealed as a superfood. And
Oh,
it'll be
that's
no
right.
everywhere.
doubt. And then 2 years after that it gives you cancer. there's that cycle, yeah.
But in between those movies and I'd never been a really big comic book kid. But in between those movies, I became really friendly like with a guy called Justin Hamilton, who's
yeah.
a really
Yeah.
brilliant stand-up comedian, and he loves comic books. And so he started going, well, you love Batman, but you haven't really read much Batman stuff. And
Right,
he sort
sure.
of started, he was like my sommelier of like comic
sure,
books,
yeah.
right? He would go, you got to read this and then read this.
Yes,
and he
that's
did all the
right.
heavy work for me.
Yeah, sure.
He curated a Batman world that I very much enjoyed. And I loved Christopher Nolan because like,
Right.
Memento had been one of my favorite films. Like, and I kind of followed him, since then. And I
Yeah.
was really excited about the idea that this director that I really liked was making a Batman film.
Yeah, sure.
I felt exactly the same, like hearing that he was the name on board. Like he wasn't huge then. He'd done Memento, I think he'd done Insomnia, which I don't think it's fine. I'm not really a Pacino guy.
I actually really like that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I must admit, like, it's fair to say in Christopher Nolan movies, it's hard to, even the ones I don't like, I will defend.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
fair
sure,
enough.
right.
No, I am
but
genuinely
I quite
the
like
same.
Insomnia.
Uh-huh.
I've got to
Yeah.
say.
So from the get-go, you're like, right, I'm on board. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this dark kind of reimagining thing. Did you walk out of that going, that's exactly what I wanted? Or were you like, I miss the Tim Burton kind of side of things. I miss that campy element and the rubber costume and
No,
all that kind of
I
thing.
was
Yeah.
100% on board.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon I saw it like the next day again.
Yeah.
I was so into it. I couldn't have enough of it. I was just like, this is the structure of a movie that I like.
Yeah.
I loved I love the prison scene at the start.
Yeah.
Where like, I'm your worst nightmare. No, your practice. Like from there, I
Absolutely.
was just like, this is going to be awesome. This whole movie is going to be great.
Yeah. I completely agree. Because there's that opening bit that we've never really gotten before with the origin of Batman where he does
Yeah.
travel the world for like 5-10 years just kicking the shit out of people and getting the shit kicked out of him. Everything else is just kind of he's fully formed. I remember you saying as well you enjoyed the trailer leading up because it's not a Batman Begins trailer.
Oh, yeah, there was
until
a-
it's not revealed as that, sorry, until the end.
It's a teaser trailer of just a man sort of searching around the world for the reason that his parents were murdered, and he finds there's something in the darkness that won't stop until it finds revenge, and it's him. And then there's this 1 second of like just Batman. It's just these desolate landscapes of like Tibet and like a funeral at a mansion and all this sort of stuff. And after the last movie, which was just this Technicolor nightmare, it blew. And it was in this era before every trailer got to the internet first, and you got 10 million views in a day, and so you could go into the cinema and be like, "What's this?
Yeah.
This could be anything." And then Batman, he's back, and it just
I mean,
Blew
I
my
think
mind.
they did an amazing job with that. Like, I've heard you guys talk about this on the podcast before, which is that idea of like when they just put too much of the good stuff in the trailer.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said to someone the other day, they said to me, he said, "Oh, what did you think of the new Spider-Man movie?" And I said, I liked it, but I didn't. And then I was like, hang on, I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie.
right.
I've just read enough reviews and seen enough on the trailers online that in my head I thought I had seen the new Spider-Man movie.
yeah.
Like, whereas like Nolan used to, I don't know if it's true or even if it was apocryphal at the time, but you used to hear that he wouldn't reveal anything from the last third of his films in
really?
the
Okay,
trailers.
yeah.
Right.
And that was like kind of a rule he had coming into trailers, that you wouldn't be seeing anything that was from the last third of the film. So
Sure,
that when
right.
you went and saw it, there was still this whole entire act for you to kind of, discover.
And that's like with Interstellar. The first trailer for that was just a cornfield and Matthew McConaughey crying, and that was it. And it's like, what is this? Did you like Christian Bale as Batman? You're on board with the voice?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not sure that anyone was 100% on board with the voice.
He was.
I mean, yeah, right? But that was kind of after I was certainly a voice justifier.
Right.
Like if you got in an argument with people, like I like the fact that it's still comic booky.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm also, we'll get to it, I'm sure, but I'm also a Bane voice supporter.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Well, you have gone too far, sir.
But that I want a bit of that, you know.
Yeah, right.
I want a bit of that sort of, okay, he's got this different identity. He's putting this voice on for a reason. It is a performance. Like he's literally giving a performance in that moment. Like, because he doesn't need to talk like that. There are moments in the movie where he's talking to people who know that he is Bruce Wayne.
Or he's by himself.
Yeah.
And he'll do it. Yeah.
He's like, he's got a good commitment. He's like, once I'm in the suit, I'm Batman.
Yeah, right.
I don't talk in the Bruce Wayne voice when I'm in the suit. You know the rules.
I think it got more ridiculous as it went on because there was 7 years between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. People had made fun of it so much. So by the time the third one rolled around, it was kind of like, oh, he's still doing this? Okay. Even though it's been memed and joked about so much, but he's just 100% committed to it. The voice I don't love, but I do love his Bruce Wayne is amazing. Right. Because he's kind of got three personalities. He's got his real kind of dark persona sitting in a cave being sad. He's got Batman, and then he's got the Bruce Wayne playboy kind of thing, where he pretends he's a drunk and he's stumbling around, he's kicking people out of the party because there's ninjas coming in, but he's like, how the fuck do I get these people out of here as quickly as possible? Oh, just make an ass of myself and then say I burnt down my house. I'll wear that, whatever. Like, that side of it we hadn't really seen. Like, I love Michael Keaton. I think he's a good Batman, but his Bruce Wayne is kind of... It's a bit weird for me. I don't know, is that the same for you, or...?
He's a big old nerd. He's Keaton Bruce Wayne, but it's...
The thing that I enjoy, and we don't get to see too much of in these movies, and I would love to see a little bit more of this, like, you know, if they're going to have a look at it again. I mean, after they're done with...
they're done with Batman.
Whatever they're done with whatever this is.
Yeah,
though,
right. Sure.
Like, it's like at the moment they're dating someone I don't approve of.
Sure, right.
I feel like... They're going to get it out of their system.
Yeah, right. It's going to be
fine. And then
fine.
we can go back to someone that I can enjoy.
You know what?
More,
I didn't want to say it at the time, but he was kind of...
Yeah,
it's a bit of a loser.
No, I get this. This is a rebound thing.
Yeah, sure.
You're in a new scene. You're experimenting. You're trying different things. But we just like someone you can bring to Christmas.
Tattoos can be removed. It's fine. It's fine.
So are you not on board for like Ben Affleck as Batman, or you just don't like this new world comparatively to the Dark Knight stuff?
All of the above, probably.
Okay, right.
I mean, I can have a more nuanced view of that. Like, you know, I would have been... I'm not anti Ben Affleck in... Like, I normally think that if Ben Affleck directs a movie, that's why I was hopeful when they said he was going to direct. Yeah. Because I'm like, I think Ben Affleck's the only guy who knows how to direct Ben Affleck. If you look at all his best performances, they're in movies that he directs himself. That's true. And when other people direct him, they put him in these things that just don't make sense.
The sum of all fears.
Right.
I haven't seen it. But yeah.
Well, Pearl Harbor, anything.
Yeah, right.
Like, just all these movies where you're just like, this is not properly cast for who you are.
Yeah.
But he actually gets him.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And that's the thing I feel like with all these other directors, that if he'd been good as Batman, I would have had no problem with it.
Right. So you thought even as his performance, you were like, I hate his kind of Bruce Wayne. I hate the voice modulator thing you weren't a fan of. Like,
okay, so the Bruce Wayne. So this is what I would say again. Like the thing I liked about the Christian Bale Bruce Wayne, and we didn't get to see enough of, and I would have loved to see more of, was that scene, you know, where like the models are in the, you know, like they're splashing around in the hotel thing, and the guy comes up and complains, and he's like, I just bought this hotel.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff I love. That's like one of my favorite scenes from that whole movie. And like in a worse director's hands, that would have been enough. That would have been out of that scene. But what you actually get to see, and this is why Nolan is actually really good in this sort of stuff, is you see him walking downstairs, you know, with these two wet models, and then he literally runs into Rachel, who's this girl that he doesn't want to see him. He's trying to convince her he's not this guy.
Right, sure.
And then for this other reason. Like I think that's the next level that he brings to those things, where you feel like all these things happen, but there's also at some stage going to be a reason or a consequence for this thing happening. It's not just there because we came up with a cool action sequence or we came up with a cool idea for this. These things all make sense to the, you know, story that we're trying to tell.
And so many films are built that way. Look at Fast and Furious films, which are fun. Like, I like them, but they're kind of like, can we do a submarine in a car? And then they're like, okay, now we need to write to that specific scenario. But yeah, his films to me always seem like, and they don't always 100% work, but this kind of intricate clockwork of ideas that kind of mesh together in a really mechanical way.
Like, well, I can bore you endlessly one day that is not today about how good The Prestige is and how no one understands it. But
because we definitely have gripes with that cloning machine situation.
But it's I like that he has always played with that structure, and there is a reason for that sort of structure in his movies.
Yeah, because even though his movies are 2.5 hours long, they don't feel like a Transformers where you're just like, this needs to stop, or, you know, I'm going to kill myself. You know, that kind of situation. Yeah. Did you ever see Superman Returns? because that came out the year after, and it made more money, but they didn't get a sequel. And,
No.
Did that appeal to you at all?
I thought that was it. Brandon Roth, was that his
Yeah,
name?
it was,
yeah.
yeah.
It's now TV's The Atom on Legends Tomorrow.
I don't mind him.
He's got a certain charm about him. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he actually, I saw it was on the other night, and I thought maybe I'll check back in with this, and I'll have a little look at it and see what I remember. And he looks good as Superman.
Yeah, he's Chris Reeves Superman.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pity that it didn't work because he actually looks like a really good. He could have made a really good Superman.
I think in a more dynamic movie, I know you have the problem with it that it's just kind of drab and boring, and he's just
Yeah,
like
it
deadbeat
is, isn't it?
dad.
Very sepia tone.
It is. It's really. You're like, what is? Hang on, what?
Yeah.
And I understand that it's a love letter to Superman movies gone by. But
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
But I think it that's also an era that's gone by, and they're good to look back upon. But I don't think in this climate, I don't think you can bring that back. But you know, good on them for giving it a go.
Yeah. So I just got to ask you this: out of Bale, Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Affleck, West, Anderson, whatever his real name is, do you have a favorite?
Okay. That's an interesting question. I would say in order.
Here we go.
From first to last.
Yes, great.
I'm going to say Christian Bale Batman.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it just because, like a sports person who you never know, are they playing in a really good team and that elevates them?
Right,
But they played in the best team. They won the most
Sure, right.
championships. It's my
Right,
favorite
yeah.
group of movies. And he was like the quarterback he's the Batman in my favorite Batman
You're
movies.
speaking not my language of sports, but I sort of get it from the
I
context.
tried to
get
make
it.
an analogy.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay, no, that makes 100% sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Elevated by that probably. Then I would say Michael Keaton,
Right.
Val Kilmer.
Oh my goodness.
Controversial.
No,
Yes.
I'm okay with Val
I
Kilmer.
like that. Then Ben Affleck, then Adam West. Then just because I'm not as much of a fan of the campy things, I'm
Right,
going to put Affleck in
Sure.
front. You know, I don't think Affleck's doing a terrible job.
Right.
Yeah.
Then George Clooney. Did I miss somebody on the way?
No, I think that's
was
all.
it.
And then they've got people will say, "What about the animated ones or whatever?" And they're all great generally.
They're all
speaking.
great.
Yeah.
All the animated ones equal first.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly. So you were like into Batman around this time. You started reading a bit of material. The big point of contention in these movies is Batman kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
But do you have a problem where Batman's like, I'm not going to kill this criminal, but I'll kill 40 ninjas in this building. I'll explode it. That's fine. Does that bother you, or you're like, it's just the world. It's the universe that he's in.
Yeah, I think it's the universe he's in. I was fine with that because I kind of like the idea that it was at least pretending that idea that this. What if this could actually happen right now?
Right. Yeah.
And to be honest, in the world that it's now become, I mean, the irony has been since The Dark Knight Rises, the world has become more like the world in The Dark Knight
Absolutely
Rises.
it has,
To
yeah.
the point where Donald Trump has actually used lines like that was that famous thing that went around the internet. There's a line from Bane's speech
That's right.
in The Dark Knight Rises that was later used by Donald Trump in his inauguration speech,
that's
I
right.
believe.
I'd love to know if that was an accident. Actually, because he tweeted at the time that he was a fan of that film. Didn't he come out of it and he goes, I saw it in Trump Towers and it was the best movie I've ever seen or whatever. And then I guess it just stuck in his brain or someone's brain. That's so bizarre.
So I think that that sort of social commentary element to it though it was something that I liked, and you can't do that when no one dies. Like the minute that no one dies, like that Batman's in all these like this is a real life situation where all these terrible things are happening, but at no stage will Batman ever kill anybody.
Yeah.
I'm very much like a just no Batman and guns guy.
Right.
That's
sure.
what I'm
yeah,
like.
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
happy for him to kill people.
Yeah.
I just don't want him to like. He doesn't use guns.
Yeah, right.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And I think for me also, I'm okay with it as compared to Batman v Superman because, like you said, the world that it's in makes sense. But Ben Affleck Batman's all like, Superman, you shouldn't kill anybody. You do the right thing all the time, and then he's just gunning down criminals in the streets.
Yeah.
It's not. I just don't understand.
Well, and
that
the
kind
other
of
thing is, a
decision-making.
lot of the time, I like to think that Batman, in his universe, he's at least fighting professionals.
Oh, sure. Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt like Superman in that movie. There was a lot of, like, collateral damage of very innocent people. Whereas mostly in Batman's world, it's like, well, ninjas know what they've signed up
That's
for.
Exactly
true.
right,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, mostly you have good days as a ninja, I imagine.
Yeah.
But occasionally, one's coming. Occasionally, you're going to have a bad gig.
You've
when
signed that-
ninjas get together, all they talk about is bad ninja gigs.
That's right.
If you're in a city destroying cult, You got to get some comeuppance eventually.
Right.
Yeah. You have a problem with the suit, yeah? The cape in particular? Too clothy?
Oh, it's
You're not a
too-
fan. I
oh.
remember you saying that. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. But do you like the bat suit? His version?
Look, it's fine, but I think, I don't know, they decided to let him, I don't know, he almost has the ability to fly in these
Right,
movies, and
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
that's, I don't know, but again, it's supposed to be something of the real universe. I feel that he was given too many technical advantages, I mean, sure, he's a billionaire, and he has access to military contracts and etc., but come on.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but also he's just a dude.
Yeah, okay,
So he
fine.
needs a leg up.
Yeah, I guess he
That's
does.
it.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
often he's against people who are like more than dudes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
I really love, though, that they, speaking of tech, they tried something new with the Batmobile. Because I feel like at that point, we'd kind of seen every variation on the Tim Burton kind of version. And they went, you know what, fuck it, let's just build a tank. Because he would need a tank. If this is a real situation and he needs to pancake cop cars to escape, then that's that's the kind of thing that he's going to need. I thought that was a really... Are you a fan of the Tumblr?
No,
as
I
well?
hate it.
You hate it?
Yeah, that's right. End of discussion. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, and Mason.
Oh,
in
sorry,
podcast.
you're right. No, you're right.
No, I like that. And the other thing was the Batmobile was getting to the point where it was getting so everything got bigger for a while.
It did, didn't it?
You know, it had to have more stuff.
Everything,
And
it had ribs at one point and glowing, like a glowing heart as
Yeah.
an engine, and yeah.
It was like Pimp My Batmobile.
It
for a
really
while.
was,
You know,
yeah.
And you never got to see any of the kind of part of the idea is if it's going to have all this cool stuff, let us see. But it was really only just ever implied, and there was never enough time in
Yes.
the movie
Yeah,
to
right.
go, why does it have all these extra bits?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
What does that button do?
He needs a grappling hook to turn a corner in Batman 89 because it's so unwieldy. And it only went like 30k an hour. But this new one was like, they had trouble keeping up with it because they built like a proper machine, which is pretty insane.
I just question why he would take the time to build a persona as a bat with a tank. Like I don't know, like bats are not
Like to
commonly
be this
known.
kind of mythical kind of creature of the night. And I have a car.
It's a flying. It's just a flying brick. I mean, give it some wings or something. I don't know.
That's a good point. I mean, it's mostly about branding, though.
Isn't it though? Exactly
I mean,
right.
that is
yeah.
the big message of these like entire movies. That idea that you can become something more, that
That's
you can
right,
become
yeah.
like only a symbol can kind of be used to fight this sort of thing, which is essentially just branding.
Absolutely.
I
it is,
mean, in
that's
The
right.
Dark Knight Rises, literally at one of the most pivotal times in the entire like universe, as like his best friend in the world is going out onto the ice and may about to drop to his death, Batman does take the time to set up that fancy bat on the bridge thing.
That's
and
right.
drop everything down before he goes and helps him out at the last moment. So always about the branding.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And he cracks open a Sprite just before.
So fresh. Yeah. You know what this movie... There's two things this movie I think does really... No, one, they do really well and one, they don't. The stealth stuff is great. You know where he's like interrogating the criminal at the docks and they're kind of like, where's this guy coming from? What is he? Some kind of monster. But then when you see the actual hand-to-hand fighting, it's shot so close up. And they fix this in The Dark Knight. All you can really see is just elbows and heads. And it's like right on him. Do you know what I mean? I know you have a problem with that. Well, like in terms of what they've done since. Like you
It's
look
bad. No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
But like, it's like Batman Superman has.
I've decided not to open the floor to any discussion anymore. I'm sick of it.
Batman Superman has.
Why do I have to let other people have opinions? I'm done.
Well, what I like is essentially you don't have to have your own opinion because that's the start of each of those sentences.
Isn't it though? Yeah.
It's like, here's what you hate.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I
Do
guess.
you know what? That's fine. I do. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, I've been awake
So-
a really long time.
Yeah, it
if
has
I'm honest
been.
with you.
It's been a 5 a.m. start for us.
James could be like, "You're okay with white supremacy," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I am." End of discussion.
But yeah, no, I think that's definitely something they rectified. And even though Batman Superman might not be a great film, like that warehouse sequence, you remember the bit where he goes and he clears out the room? I don't think there's anything in these Nolan films which is as good as that in a fighting kind of sense.
But but that's a comic book fighting sequence in the warehouse. It's a man who can get shot in the head and not
Point
flinch. It's a
blank,
man
yeah.
who can, throw one man into a wall and flip another over his head at the same time.
throw a
kind of thing.
crate over his head.
Throw a
with
crate
one
over his
hand.
head. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
It's the Nolan fight scenes at least feel grounded to the extent of like, yeah, you would use your elbows and your knees. You
Yeah,
would getting
absolutely
close.
you would,
You
yeah.
know, there's no room for a big roundhouse punch or what have you.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah. And in the Nolan universe, pretty much the only guy who can beat up Batman was just another bigger guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Who got
Like,
trained as Batman.
So pretty much anyone who came in with any superpower could beat both of them.
Yeah,
that's right, yeah.
absolutely. That's very true. The Dark Knight, right? that movie for me works. Well, it works in a lot of ways, but that Heath Ledger performance, that ties that whole movie together. Is it your favorite one of the three?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the one that elevates it from the first one and the last one are as good as I think comic book movies. I love them. I think they're both fantastic movies. But Heath Ledger's performance in this second movie takes it from being a great comic book movie to being just, I will argue all day, all night that The Dark Knight is just a great movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the great movies of all time. You know, Shawshank isn't a great prison movie. Yeah, it's a great prison movie, but it's just a great movie.
Yeah.
And like Heath Ledger's performance is the thing that makes that different between of the other ones.
I've often said that Heath Ledger's performance is my favorite villainous performance probably of all time, to the extent where the first time I saw it, I just had this moment of like, oh, this guy exists out in the real world. And it took me a second to be like, oh no, he's fictional. He's not a real guy. But I was like, how can I step outside there if he's in this world? And I'm like, oh no, wait, he's not.
And the thing is as well, people weren't on board for him being cast at the time.
I was not on board for him
Really?
being cast at the time. No.
Yeah.
No, I had a personal incident with Heath Ledger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no,
Is
true.
that something you want to share? Or?
I'm fine. I've talked about it before. It's
Okay.
fine. I was doing a Triple J radio show, and he came in to promote Ned Kelly. You know, he did the Ned Kelly movie.
Not a great
Ned Kelly.
Not a great movie.
And you were in that, Meso, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I was his beard double.
but yeah, so he came in, and it was like he'd been hijacked to be dragged into the studio.
Sure, yeah.
Now, at the time, like, who cares? Probably he had been. Probably you've been told whatever. But he was being very grumpy, and we're trying our best.
Sure,
because
yeah.
we were kind of fans, and we'd asked for them to come in and that sort of stuff. And we threw question after question, and would just get nothing. Or these like wordy kind of like just introspective, like he was just like well, I just
bullshit kind of
wanted to understand why Ned was so angry and where his rage came from. And I said, do you reckon it's just because he had really bad hat hair? And Heath Ledger said, I believe Heath Ledger said, that's not funny. And
He said, that's not funny.
yeah,
Wow.
on air. And I in my head said, well, I didn't say 10 things I hate about you twice, you cockhead. But I did not say that on radio. No. So I had that thing. And then there was just a couple of things that I didn't like. But I was watching Two Hands again the other night.
That's a fucking
And he's
great movie.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And that is a brilliant genre piece about Australia that still stands up like as a really great movie. Like Rose
Totally
Byrne, Heath Ledger. Like it's a quality movie. And I should have known that he could do it.
Yeah.
But I was a person who didn't believe that
No,
he could do
fair
it.
enough.
In fact, I was the person who was like, oh my God, I had this perfect thing. Like
Yeah, right.
Christopher Nolan's making Batman movies and now fucking hat hair.
Yeah, right, exactly, that's right.
And ruined it for me.
Yeah, well, see, for me, he come off the back of Brokeback Mountain, and he nailed that. So I'm like, oh, no, he'll kill this. He'll be fine. Like, I don't want Jack Nicholson. I like Jack Nicholson's Joker. It is what it is. But he's an 80-year-old man in that movie. Oh, he's probably like 55.
Yeah, right.
But to me, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. This is kind of a fresh, kind of new take. It's kind of time to get a new Joker. Were you like that as well, or were you like,
Yeah, look, and again, I don't think that Joker would fit in that world. That was Jack Nicholson playing his character from, I don't know, like a villainous version of his character from Chinatown.
Right, yeah.
Plus the
Prosthetics.
campy 60s version plus like the Super Friends. Like it was that would never have worked in a real world.
yeah, and it works in that
Sure,
movie,
yeah,
but yeah. People say that was a thing that kind of drove him mad, Heath Ledger, to kind of all led towards his death. But apparently his family were like, no, he loved it. He had a great time, and it was just kind of an accident kind of thing that happened. There's kind of there's this whole mythology around the role, and what does it mean and what is it going to do to your psyche? But it's just kind of some bad happened to him. He died. That's pretty much seems to be what it was to me. Isn't that fun?
I mean, is there any chance that people think if you play the Joker, then you're going to die? Is the reason that Jared Leto got cast in the? Is there someone out there who just
he really took that to 11 in a bad way.
Yeah.
Especially for how much he's in that movie. You've seen Suicide Squad, I assume.
Yeah.
Like, and all the stories we heard leading up, like he's sending people rats and condoms and just being a pain in the
His
ass.
assistant was, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's never out of character, and he's just this lunatic on set. But then it all added up to a whole lot of nothing.
Also, I'm just not into that anymore. Like in the world we live in now, when you hear some articles like, you were sending them used condoms in the mail to get in character, and I'm like, that's a workplace, you know?
It really is,
Like
yeah.
if we did that in any of our workplaces, so I'm just trying to get you motivated for the next Gruen episode, Russell. So here's my used condoms. Stick it inside your head. No, that's inappropriate.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I don't think so.
And have you,
Calm down. Just act.
Yeah, right. If you could.
Well, that's what you say. It's like, just turn up on the day and say
That's all
the
you need.
words.
Like the era, especially in this kind of movie, is the era of getting inside a character's head and being an auteur of this character. It's gone. Like movies are chopped into tiny little bits, like in the editing room. Just there's an X, you stand on the X and you say the words you're supposed to say, and then you get off the X and you go home.
At the very least, here's how much you have to think about it. Like that makeup takes a while to put on. Just from the minute they start putting on your makeup until when they've finished doing that, that's probably an hour minimum.
Yeah, right.
Like probably a couple of hours for but like an hour minimum.
Right, just for the head. If he's wearing a jacket, that's fine, yeah.
Just Joker it up from there.
That's right, yeah.
If you can't become the Joker in an hour, then you are the wrong guy for this job.
I do wonder whether he is going to come back for it. Because I think he got burnt by that. Because well, apparently they shot hours and hours of footage and he just pinwheeled on set and he was amazing and it was really captivating if you were there. But I think when they went to piece that movie together, they went, oh no, we can't use any of this. This is just all horse shit. That probably was really amazing if you were standing next to him.
Right,
but
sure.
It doesn't make sense in the context of this film.
They should just release all that.
Yeah.
As a movie.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. That's the director's cut I want to see.
Yeah.
Don't put the rest of the movie back in. Just give me 45 minutes of what, and then, you know what, just in between give us a yada, yada, yada. Here's what happened. Like, previously on. And then just get into whatever madness he was about.
Just a scrolling text in between scenes, yeah. You know he's kind of overlooked in this movie though because of, well, I think he is anyway, because of Heath Ledger.
Eric Roberts.
Well, he's good.
Yeah.
He is good in this, yeah. No, Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face.
Yeah.
He's really solid in this. I mean, obviously people don't really remember that role as much as they do the Heath Ledger thing, but he takes this turn in the film. Like Heath Ledger's this force of nature who just drops out of the sky and just fucks everything up. But Aaron Eckhart has this actual, Harvey Dent has this actual kind of arc that goes through.
Well, also, it's the important arc actually in the movie because what you're setting up is Batman having to, confront that idea as well. It's the actual pivotal thing in the series. Like the Joker thing is actually a bit of a side story really for where it's going. But yeah, because I've had arguments with people about this, which is that idea of going, because some people say, well, you could have just done the Joker. You didn't need the Harvey Dent thing. And, and that didn't get what it could have got because you couldn't fit them both in because they're so big, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just say, why wasn't that movie an hour longer?
There you go, right.
just put all that stuff in as well. I'll see them both.
Yeah.
Split it in half. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Just run them together.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was really important. And I think that's the quality of these movies. That idea you're going, well, we're only going to do 3. So you know what? We can afford to actually kill off one of... There's actually some stakes in these movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, you actually come into these going, oh, this character... Any of these characters could actually die.
Yeah.
in this.
One element of this trilogy that I enjoyed a lot was that exact thing, that it's a, if you think of it as a parallel universe, it's not Batman and he has to fight crime for all eternity and etc. It's that he can retire. He can finally get... It was nice to see a happy ending for Batman when most of them end up with him being the last man alive in a post-apocalyptic world and it's just vampires and zombies or what have you, and it's just him. It's nice for him to go, you know what? I did what I was going to do and life moves on.
Turned out okay.
That's everything turned
But
out okay.
they also set up enough stakes in it that there was I had a moment, and I saw it like obviously the first moment you could see the Dark Knight Rises, like I was like first screening, and I believed the universe and whatever enough to go, oh no, he could die here at the end.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
really?
You could,
Okay.
Like
I felt
I
that
was
as well,
like, you could die. I said I believe this.
Yeah.
Like if they end this with him dying, then
It was all
That's
heading.
okay.
It was heading that way because he's slowing down. He talks like Alfred talks to him at the start, like, why are you doing this? You got to run yourself into the ground. Someone's going to come along eventually and kick your head in, which is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
You know, so
and then also, like, since then, like, even in that shape, since then, he's had a broken back that's been cured by punching alone.
Yeah.
that's right.
So, I mean, he can't be in better shape than he was before.
That's right, exactly. I mean, he was angrier, but that only gets you so far.
Did not see any Ben Affleck style scene where he was like lifting a tire or something.
That's right, yeah.
Where was his montage?
What? See, and I think that also comes off the back of in The Dark Knight. His girlfriend, the love of his life, or she's not really his girlfriend, chooses somebody else,
Right.
and
They
then
don't want to
dies.
put a label on it.
No, that's right. And then dies, but he doesn't even know that she didn't choose him. I thought that was amazing. Like, he lives with this idea that Alfred doesn't tell him that, oh no, she wasn't even going to be with you regardless of any of this.
Right.
Like, I thought that was an incredible choice.
Michael Caine is the real villain here.
That's
Ultimately, I
right.
feel.
Yeah, he's great, right? An amazing Alfred.
Well, not A, he's a good Alfred, but B, if you want to talk about unbelievable things in this universe, he's obviously very, very good. Because, like, as soon as Bruce Wayne decides, all right, I'm back to Batmaning, even though allegedly he's done nothing for 7 years,
Yeah.
he goes down to the Batcave. All the computers are up to date.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's not like any like couple of days of going, oh, I have to update Windows.
That's
Like,
right.
none of this stuff works. So not only has he been busy butlering, and you know, I know he's ex-military, but he's obviously pretty
Yeah, right.
good with like and also after a while, if Bruce isn't coming back to Batmaning,
Yep.
don't you reckon you'd still be like, I'm not going to keep like you.
The
Maybe
bike.
first couple
Yeah.
of years you'd be updating everything.
Yeah.
But after a while, you're like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah, that's exactly
I
it.
also feel, and this is only it's just a technical thing. I feel Alfred's embezzling in this universe because at the end, at the start of The Dark Knight Rises, Bruce Wayne's like, "Do I have any cars left?" And Michael Caine's like, "Oh yeah, you've got one, and it's a Lamborghini." But it's a different Lamborghini from the previous movie. So did Alfred buy that? Did he buy himself like $1 million supercar just to?
He almost certainly did.
Yeah, he did,
Well,
I
he's
think.
his legal guard. He was his legal guardian,
yeah,
so he
that's
has
where all the money
access
went.
to funds. I'd imagine. And
Yeah.
Bruce was
Right.
dead for 8 years or whatever it was. So I'm sure he did a bunch
And Bruce,
of
I
shit.
guess Bruce feels just like an in-case guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I always needed a Lamborghini just in case
Yeah,
I
that's
need
right.
a Lamborghini.
Absolutely.
Right.
Look, I need a motorcycle inside a tank just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alfred's got to, I guess, that's the perk of the job.
That's right,
I guess
yeah.
that's what keeps him in butlering.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Because I do often think with all these other skills, like
Yeah.
the fact that you were, like before Bruce Wayne became Batman, if you have the skills to keep up to date, like this entire computer, like, you know, web down here, and then you're wasting your talent butlering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I guess because in the comics he's forced into it. Like it's by default. So he's like, I don't want to look after a kid. What are you doing this for? The Dark Knight Rises. Nolan, there was talk that he wasn't going to do it because he had a whole plan to put Heath Ledger in it again that was going to, continue the story and whatnot. Heath Ledger's Joker is briefly mentioned in the book. He's like, he got out of Arkham when Bane let go of the criminals and then he disappeared. We kind of don't know what happened to him. Is that a good send-off? Like, would you like to have seen him come back like as a CGI character like the Crow or anything like that? Do you think it was good that they kind of left it and...
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah.
I would not have liked that at all.
It would have been, and I feel like Nolan's not the kind of guy to bring somebody back with CGI. It's not really his kind of. It's not his. He'll recast, but
Well, I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of the, stunts and like, a lot of, the effects are practical effects.
Yeah,
right.
Like, some of the great, that great scene, with the truck in the alleyway and there's so many good practical ones. I
Yeah.
can't imagine he would be keen on the idea of doing a CGI version.
Yeah.
But also, it'd be creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they made the best of a bad situation. I think, and by bringing in Bane, like, I don't think Bane is as a compelling a villain as the Joker, but I think it still works for the movie. I know
Right.
Charlie told me that when you came out of that movie, you're like, you got to see it. We'll go and see it. And then when he came out of it, it was like, nah, hated it. Shit.
Yeah, because he's a fucking idiot. I mean, sorry, my swearing, but like,
No, it's
I will save it for moments like this. Like, I mean, I understand there are flaws to that movie.
Yeah.
But, well, I only think there's only one flaw to the entire movie, which is in the final fight scene between Bane and Batman on the steps, that one
Yeah,
where he
sure.
like comes through the crowd and Bane sees him, and like he's like, you're back to die with your city. I think that's Yoda, actually. But I can't do voices, sorry. And he goes, no, I'm back to stop you.
No, you can do
that's
voices.
right.
You can do,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're like,
Could have said anything.
Nah, don't
or
say,
nothing.
Just
Nothing
don't say
would've
anything.
worked,
Just
yeah.
start the punching.
Yeah.
right.
That's not my Batman. You don't. Yeah, we all know why you're here, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all get it.
You're in the suit. There was
Yeah.
the big fire
No,
thing
even
happening.
Bane doesn't think that you've come back to die with the city. Bane was saying that Bane gets that you're there to
Yeah,
get
right.
him. That's why he's saying that. That's Bane kind of playing off the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And I love the whole Bane thing. I mean, this is what I love also about these Nolan movies is that before the credits, the start of the movies, are shot as like separate sort of mini movies. I mean, that incredible start to The Dark Knight when you see that whole Joker scheme, and you just by the end of it,
Amazing,
you're like,
yeah.
oh well, that's it. That you've
Yeah,
caught
right.
me up in one scene, which is also really cool,
Yeah.
and like in its own right. You've also caught me up to date completely with who this character is and what he's like, and shown him do this really cool thing that completely sets up his character.
Yeah.
And bang, we haven't even fucking seen Batman.
He's not like,
yet,
I'm
right.
crazy. I've got tattoos. It's you
And
don't
just
even-
that idea that you can do it like a 12 or 14 minute like scene or whatever.
It's like a
and-
mini heist.
and not have Batman in it.
Yeah.
You've gone to see a Batman movie.
Yeah.
And like we're going to do a whole other story that Batman's not even in. And then same with that plane scene in
Yeah,
the
right.
Yes.
final
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Like, I mean, when Bane is just like, you're going down that plane, from chair to chair, just and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great.
And they did hang half a plane from the sky and did a lot of that for real.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, yeah. Which is insane. One thing that people do complain about this movie was that you mentioned like there's minimal Batman. There's like 23 minutes of him in this movie. Do you think there needs more of him in that, or?
I mean, yeah, I say yes, but not at the expense of anyone else.
Right.
I'm just saying more
Just
Batman in the
longer
movie as well.
movies, yeah. What about how the cops are in the sewers for 9 months or whatever, eating rats? Any of that stuff. I'm just throwing things out that the people
No,
are
no,
like,
no, no.
This
I mean,
sucks.
that's ridiculous, and also that ridiculous. Like, I mean, when old mate Matthew Modine is running towards, like,
right, he's at
with
this-
his tiny little gun, and
Right.
you're like, oh, mate, get a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean, I'm glad you got. That's that moment where you're like, no, he was right. You know when he stayed home and was a coward and he thought he would get killed for no reason? He was actually right.
This is
you
happening.
came around, Commissioner Gordon, and you have made a child an orphan
Yeah.
because he has a tiny gun. At least give him a bigger
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matthew Modine, he skipped zigging and zagging class at the academy, so he's gonna get killed.
I mean, the fact that they just charge.
Yeah, right?
Like, is there not some... Surely there's got to be some science in...
Yeah, right.
That you at least... You know what, guys?
Yep.
At least zig around a little.
Yeah.
Totally.
That bin,
Make
you can
yourself
stand behind the
small.
bin. You can
Yeah.
stand behind the
No
bin.
ducking or anything? Yeah. Okay, all right.
Symbolic, guys.
Yeah,
It's symbolic.
yeah. Come on, guys. Let's die for symbolism.
People always talk about this thing about how did Batman get back into the city, and that ties into the big flame bat. For me, that's never a problem because he is who he is. Of course, he could get
Right.
back into a city. They can't watch the entire perimeter, just like you can't wall off a country. You can't do the same thing for a city. You know what I mean?
Also, the other thing that I like, people are, oh, what about passports and getting back into countries? And I'm like, well, what about a fucking guy dressed as a giant bat?
Yeah,
fighting
exactly,
crime?
yeah.
Like, but the thing that I was saying is, I'd love to see that movie. If you want to make like a Rogue One style
Yeah,
movie,
an interim movie,
show
yeah.
me like one of those movies. Everyone always talks about we want to see a Batman detective movie or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Show me like just Batman having to survive when he doesn't have the bat suit and he doesn't have access to all these funds,
Yeah. Yes.
and how this guy. This guy who's like, spent all these years like in the wilderness, like in, training and all these sort of things. That'd be a really cool movie. Do it as a kind of spin-off side project and then everyone can shut the fuck up about it.
Absolutely.
But he got back. He's Batman.
Yeah.
He also had his back cured by punching it.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
climbed up a rope and, he was in a prison. Like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's cool. And now he's back.
And now he's back. Mason, here's something you hate.
Oh, here we go. I'm
You
ready.
hate the prison that he doesn't
I
just
hate-
climb out of the
Why
prison.
why does nobody climb out of the prison?
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Look,
We've talked about this
we've
multiple
talked
times.
multiple
No,
times.
go on.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff at the bottom of this pit.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff.
Wood.
And there's a pulley system. Somebody's
Yes.
installed a pulley system for some reason. So what you do is you just get one guy at the end of the pulley, you pull him up, and he chips a little hole in the side of the wall, and you put in a bit of wood, and then you've got a step. And then you pull him up a little bit further, and then you just walk out.
But isn't the pulley system not in operation at all times? How are you getting access to this pulley system?
But there's no guards, but when you make the jump, you're on a rope.
Yeah, but the rope gets lowered. Like, I mean, there's only... Oh, he lowers the rope back down for people at
Yeah.
the end,
Yes.
though.
Yep.
Right down. Yeah, but it's not... enough, right? That's the whole point. You got to get up there first and then swing a. Oh, actually, I think it's a retractable rope, though, right?
I just think it's a metaphor. I guess
There's no room for metaphors.
Yeah, metaphors are for cowards. That's right. But yeah, because even at the very top, when you see him climb out, there's just a loose rope sitting there. So like a gust of wind could have just knocked the rope in. And
It looked like pretty heavy rope.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Heavy duty rope.
Yeah.
And it was up the top. So they obviously just lower the shit down with the rope. That's your lowering rope. Yeah. And that's how they can't climb out.
But as far as getting back to Gotham, I like to think that pit is just like, that's just the Gotham tip. Like it's just the rubbish dump. And he just gets up and he's like, oh, there's Gotham.
Well, that's why there's cable.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
It's right next to it, yeah.
Well, much more convenient for Bane to visit and mock him.
Isn't it though? That's
What
right.
do you
Yeah.
mean? Because they can't be too far away.
Yeah.
Because Bane paid him a visit to mock him in the middle of putting together his plan to take down an entire city.
He took
so
the bus.
you can't imagine it's going to be like Bane's explaining to people, guys, I've got to like go on a like 30-hour business trip.
That's right, yeah.
You know, it's impractical. It would have been close.
Yeah. Well, I'm just pointing out things that people take issue with because people always send in these questions to us. So they set up that the autopilot doesn't work.
Yes.
There's no autopilot. They mentioned it multiple times, and at the end, the nuclear bomb flies out over the harbor, which is also a fusion technology. What was it again? I can't remember. It's clean energy, but it's also a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And then just before it explodes, you see that Batman must have somehow escaped.
Yeah.
Does anyone take issue with that, the timing of it, that you see him and then 3 seconds later the bomb goes off, and yet somehow he's in Paris being like, I did it. I'm bloody out of here.
I have a little bit more issue about like whatever he was wearing when he ejected that was safe from the
No, the nuclear
at least the
explosion.
radiation. I mean, it didn't. I had no problem with the autopilot thing, other than it felt almost too heavy-handed.
Yeah, they mentioned it
because
a lot,
there's that second time where it's clear that you're like, oh, they're setting up that he's fixed it himself.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, right. You know, so that didn't. Yeah, it kind of that was the thing that almost took away from the. Oh, they've mentioned the autopilot enough that. This is probably gonna be how he gets out at the end, I guess. I guess so. But I was glad he got out at the end. So
Sure, yeah. Same. Well, like you said, it was good to kind of get a Batman with a happy ending because we'll probably never see him again. Like I doubt he'd come back for another one. Like
speaking of Alfred embezzling funds, it does make a lot of sense now that he's been taking that one holiday every year to this like one joy. It's a fair way away.
Yeah, right.
Just to have like a drink he could get, like I'm sure in Gotham. I'm sure he can get a Fernie Ranker in Gotham.
Exactly right.
And the other thing people take issue is at the very end they're just like, and Robin's in it. The end.
That was more, but that was more just one of those things like
fan service kind of thing. Here you go, nerds. Here's your buddy, Robin.
You know what? I like the storyline. I just didn't like that he was Robin. That's what I would have said. Like, because the way that it's set up, you know, the movie's The Dark Knight Rises, and it feels like you can watch this third movie, and this is like one of the ways I like to watch it is watch it as a Batman Begins, but about his character.
Sure,
Because what you can actually see in the movie is somebody who starts out with one set of ideals and becomes delusions about their set of ideals. And there's even that bit where he's like, you know, the guns, get rid of the gun.
Yeah, right.
Like you could actually look at it as a Batman Begins for like, this is how, you know, Christian Bale can retire.
Yeah.
There is somebody else who now is willing to kind of, you know, fit into the role of being, you know, the new Batman. So if they kind of revealed that was like the end of it, like that to me would have been probably a bit stronger than, even though that's kind of, I guess, what they're saying in a way.
But I feel like
if you follow his story through the movie,
well, they're both orphans and
very traditional Batman origin story. You could like, you know, the beats of it. It's kind of cool.
I still feel like he would have been killed day one. Like he'd swing from a rooftop and just it wouldn't catch and he'd hit the floor. He wasn't trained by ninjas.
There would be some montages.
Oh, absolutely.
There'd be
That's
some
right.
tires.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Here's something to end on. You want some alternate casting for Batman that they considered?
Yes.
Ian Bailey.
Who?
I don't know. There's test footage of it. Don't know him. He looks enough like him. I don't know him. Do you know him?
No.
Me neither.
When you say he looks enough like him, you mean like
you see him as Bruce
jawline.
Wayne.
Oh, okay, right.
Actually, they all tested in the Val Kilmer head.
Oh, that's right.
Because if you can look good in that, you're like, you could probably pull this off. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Sure, okay.
Would have been weird if Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal, but that was, whatever. Heath Ledger, which I don't think really would have worked.
I mean, unless Eddie Murphy, you know, the Clumps style, he played both Batman and the Joker. I mean, That, you know, people always talk about why that's the perfect thing is because, you know, they're kind of two sides of the same coin, you know.
Yeah, right.
They kind of almost in some ways have the same, you know, insane idea about the world, but they just go in two very different directions about, you know, how they process that.
Yeah.
So he just plays them both.
That'd be a very Nicolas Cage thing to do, I feel.
Wouldn't it be?
But again, Heath Ledger as Batman, terrible hat hair. So
Yes.
very.
That's why he didn't get it.
Yeah.
They tried to get him to put it on and he had a flashback
No.
to that moment. He was like, ah! I was like, what?
Henry Cavill, who's
Oh, yeah?
Superman now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember Josh Hartnett apparently turned it down, but he regrets it because he's like, I could have worked with Nolan and now I can't. Because he was like, oh, I didn't really want to be Batman, but think of all these other things I could have done with him and I kind of blew it, which kind of
But
sucks.
at least he got to be in that movie that Western movie where guns didn't exist and they all had to fight each other with swords.
What?
He was in that movie.
I have no idea. Is that
right.
a TV show?
No, it's a movie.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it was great.
And last one was Cillian Murphy, who ended up playing Scarecrow, which I think worked out for the best. He's in
Yeah,
the
I
third
agree.
one. He's good. He's the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, I'm not it's not my favorite Batman character,
Sure,
Scarecrow, but, you know, it was fine. It felt like that judge scene, he was a little tacked into that movie.
Yes.
it was like, okay, everyone's back.
Yeah.
Everyone's here, guys.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it? I've heard this, and when I say I've heard this, I may have heard it on this podcast the last time I said it. But wasn't the idea originally that Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker in that scene?
I think that was the speculation.
He was going to be the judge.
Yeah.
Right?
And that would have been a more fleshed out role, I'd imagine, if that was
Right, uh-huh.
going to him. But hey,
Right.
that's the world we live in.
Also makes a lot more sense.
It
Yeah,
makes
sure it does.
way
It does
more
actually
sense,
make
yeah.
heaps
Yeah.
more sense to
Yeah.
that character.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, you're right. That would have been better. Sorry, you've ruined it for me.
Oh, no.
All right, that'll do it. Will, thanks so
Okay.
much for doing this with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no, my pleasure. I can do this all day.
Okay, cool.
Can imagine.
We'll
Yeah.
come back for the next Batman trilogy then, I guess.
Hey, what do you have to plug?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I have a podcast.
Very nice.
It's called TOFOP, TOFOP, and it can be found on the internet.
It'll be linked below. It's on iTunes,
Is
probably.
that how it works?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how it
Oh,
works.
you guys know how to find podcasts.
Yeah, right?
You literally found this one. It'll be really close to where you found this. Promise.
Yeah.
Look near this around in the vague general area and you'll find it.
It's spelled how it sounds.
Yeah, TOFOP.
And you guys just talk kind of whatever, like you and Charlie, you've been friends for ages, and you just talk current events, you talk stuff like this, you talk DVDs. I mean, you went through the DVD collection.
Well,
That was
you're in my
great.
office here,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
trying to get rid of DVDs because they're an ancient technology.
Yeah.
And I have streaming and stuff now, and I'm just never going to use them all. So we had this idea that we would like each bring in 5 DVDs, and then we just talk about them. And if people could guess whose were whose, but it turns out that none of our audience understand us after all these years, or we tried too well to pretend they weren't our movies.
All right, yeah.
Too
And
good at acting.
also, my mathematician friend worked out that we thought, 10 DVDs. All they have to guess is like, who's 5, who's 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many options and combinations do you think there is of that? Like, how many possible? is there?
Thousands.
Well, like, 875.
Oh,
it
well,
turns
there
out.
you go, right, okay.
We're like, there's probably like 10 options, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
that's
yeah.
right.
That's how maths works. No, it turns out it doesn't.
Not
work
at
like
all.
that.
Oh, there you go. This is a learning podcast too. All right, well, yeah, like I said, all that's linked below. Thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure.
What a bloody fun time for everybody, especially me. This is kind of a dream of mine, Mason, to sit across from you to a podcast.
That's some sweet Christopher Nolan structure there.
That's right.
Boy, is it. Well, you know what it's time for, Mason? That's the next segment. What are we reading?
Oh, what are we going to read?
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today?
All right, well, first of all, here's the thing. I was in a comic book store the other day.
Congratulations. What do you want, a bloody medal that says, I'm the biggest dickhead?
That would be good, actually. How big's the metal?
The size of a house.
Yeah, good. What's it made of?
Bread.
All right. Yeah, good. Great. Anyway, I saw that the final issue of Dark Knight 3 is out. Should I read it?
No.
Really?
You know what? Reading it all together is probably not that bad.
Okay.
Because I read it over 10 months or however long it took.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better than 2, but it's just not great. It's just whatever.
Yeah, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, you know what? Give it a read.
Yeah.
Give it a read, yeah.
Should I wait till it's like a $1 an issue on Comixology or something?
Yeah, but what is it now? Like 3?
Yeah,
bucks
that's
an
true.
issue?
Yeah, that's
Like,
actually,
it probably
you're
wouldn't
right.
kill
Not
you,
bad,
but,
yeah. Yeah, and that's true. But also...
You could sell that bread medal.
Yeah, right? But also, have you heard about Kill or Be Killed? which is it's Ed Brubaker.
Ed Brubaker, bro.
I can't say his name. Ed Brubaker.
It's his fault.
Who did all sorts of stuff that we like. He's done Criminal.
Yep.
He did bloody Captain America: Winter Soldier. He's done all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about a guy who is he's dying. He's a young kid and he's dying, and he is visited by a demon who's like, every person you kill, I'll give you a month back on your life. And so he sort of has to find bad people to kill. And apparently it's amazing. I've heard nothing but good things. So I've got
just started?
A few issues in. Hang on.
What's it called? Kill or
Be Killed. So there's 10 issues already. So,
wow, okay. So it's been
it started in August of last year, I think. But I've heard nothing but great things. And I'm a big fan of Ed.
Is it on... Oh, you're on first name basis?
Yeah, Ed Brubaker.
You just didn't want to say his last name, did you?
No, exactly. Yeah. Eddie B.
Very good.
Yeah, but I've heard recommendations from people I know, people on the Serious Issues podcast, a comic book group.
Yes.
So people are like, if you want to get in like Image Comics or whatever, people are like, this is the one. This is the one. So I'm gonna bloody check that out. And it's also kind of not them. You know, he's done some superhero stuff and some true crime stuff, but not really anything like this, which is pretty bloody interesting.
good.
So I'm gonna get into that.
So does he actually physically kill the people?
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
I've actually been watching, I'm nearly through it, The Leftovers. It's 3 seasons.
That's right, yeah. Which I started on and never quite finished.
You know what, man? It's great. And I've heard it wraps up really well because it is Damon Lindelof. So when it started, I'm like, I'm never watching this, ever.
Yeah,
but now that it's done, forever.
Yeah, we got a letter last week about, or a couple of weeks ago, who's like, it wrapped up perfectly.
Yeah. So I'm on, I think I've got like 4 episodes left. Mm-hmm. And look, to be honest, even if they don't...
over.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Even if they don't explain everything, it's such interesting characters and universe that they've built. I would be okay with it. It wasn't like Lost where by the end I'm like, I don't care if Jack falls off a cliff.
Sure, right.
Or whatever. Like I genuinely like am interested in these characters and all of that. I don't it's less about the mystery and more about the kind of the journey that the people are going on. I know.
It's not about the journey, it's about the destination. All right, when you finish it.
I know, I would normally say that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, unless they really balls it up, which apparently they haven't, I can't imagine that I'd be upset by this.
Yeah.
Go on though. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, when you finish it, let me know if it wraps up, not on that weird wishy-washy level that you're talking about, but if it ends satisfactorily and all the questions are answered, let me know and I'll watch it too.
How far did you get into it? When you
like halfway through the first season.
Okay, cool. Well, there's 28 episodes or something like that.
Right. So that's manageable.
And the last season, a lot of it is set in Melbourne, which is really weird.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's bizarre.
Filmed in Melbourne.
Filmed in Melbourne.
Huh.
Yeah. So
they didn't call us up.
I've been. Yeah.
We were probably in heaven.
We probably were in
heaven.
Yeah. Like I've been to Fed Square. I've been to an alley with graffiti in it.
Yeah, we've been all sorts of delightful laneway cafes.
I've seen a Melbourne yellow cab. I know you have, Mason. Yep. They're your favourite drivers on the road, aren't they?
Them.
Yeah, but I definitely recommend it unless it balls us up, in which case I don't recommend it. I take back my recommendation. I think Damon Lindelof maybe, got burnt by what happened in Lost. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm also probably going to check out Supergirl Being Super, which is a DC miniseries that's just wrapped up.
Delightful.
I think it's a bloody origin series. It's bloody... Yeah, great. Anyway, it's apparently a really good series.
Fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Do you have something ready for us for the next segment?
No, I don't. What do you reckon about that?
I mean, I don't reckon anything about it.
Yeah. Are you surprised by it?
Well, no, because today, look, I don't know if people noticed this, but that Wil Anderson thing was recorded weeks prior to.
Yeah. So you're saying I've had weeks to do this?
You've had weeks leading up to this. Yeah, you knew this was coming. Yeah,
that's true. I did.
Yeah. This is your best effort yet,
isn't it? Though.
Classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. You know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
Quick shout out to Raw Collings for his animation of Star Wars animation that he put up. I'll link that below.
Nice.
He's taken a clip from this where we try and name all the Musketeers from the 90s.
Yes, great.
And talk various Star Wars things. So thank you for that. He's also in charge of all the social media stuff. He does stuff on the website, planetbcasting.com.
He's at the Weekly Planet on Twitter, yeah.
That's right. He's a great dude. And Ali Peterson, who also got Finn Jones to say, grab that gem.
He sure did, yeah.
And Mark Bernard also from Fat Man on Batman, which was really awesome to see. Nice. Finn Jones was really cool about it as well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And again, I hope there's a whole bunch of people in Hollywood, again, at the Chateau Marmont.
Yes.
While that Moustache argument is happening, they're just like, what? If someone asked you to say grab that gem, what do you think it means? Sid, what do you think?
And then everyone lawyers up.
Everyone lawyers up, exactly. Are we in a cult now? Are we? Get the lawyers.
So if you want to reach the show, you can send an email to Mason.
Yeah.
'Cause he's all over it sometimes.
I'm over it.
He's over it.
Yep.
At weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com, and also on Twitter, if you hashtag weeklyplanetpod, we'll go through those also. This is from do you want me to kick it off, or do you want to kick it off? This is from Henry McClintock. That's a great name.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah. What changes would you make to
Very
a
westerny. Is this going to be a westerny themed?
What could be?
Can you sort of gussy it up cowboy
Sure.
style?
Yeehaw! What changes would you make
Nice.
to a mediocre film to make it great? Whoa! I'm riding a horse.
Oh, nice. That's very broad as a question, I feel.
Yes, but you can make it Western related.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably maybe a piano player that stops playing just as the action kicks off, but it gets tense. The piano player stops.
I would take Clara out of Back to the Future 3, which is a Western.
Very
there
good.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe not take her out. Maybe just slightly less.
Probably more posses. Less superhero teams, more superhero posses.
Absolutely, yeah. Something Westworld related.
Yeah. Did you see the season 2 Westworld trailer?
I did.
last
They've only
week?
just started filming it and they already
Nice, looks
got
real
that
good.
out. Yeah.
Ed Harris's character's having a real good time
He's
in
having
Westworld.
the best Westworld.
Yeah.
Best Westworld.
It's the best world.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see other worlds? The Japanese world?
I think I think it's going to be, I think there's going to be some bleed through. Like,
Yeah.
I think potentially they're going to release the samurais into Westworld. Like, I think it's all going to be
meshed together.
I think it's all going to be Westworld, but maybe, they're like, okay, we've got to, I reckon maybe a security team will show up and be like, okay, we need to stop these Westworld cowboys. Let's send the samurai in and see what happens.
Sweet.
Which will be madness.
Best world.
Best world. I think perhaps this season is not going to be, it's not going to be mystery based. It's not going to be like,
No.
what's going on here and what's the time
shouldn't
shifts
be,
and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. I think it's just going to be mayhem.
Yes.
Western themed mayhem.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Yeah. What's the
Oh, sorry.
Dolores. That's her
Yes,
name.
yes.
She's having a good time too.
She absolutely is.
Yep.
What change would you make to mediocre film, though? That was the initial
Oh,
question.
okay. I mean, I guess it depends how it's mediocre, but I mean, if as a general rule, more.
I think that you mean specifically, like, would you take a mediocre film and change an element of
What
it?
have we seen recently that's been very mediocre?
The one that came to mind for me, and I actually don't think it's mediocre, I think it's better than mediocre, but Rogue One,
Yes.
if they had have established that team better, I think
Okay.
that would have been a more impactful ending.
Sure.
And like there's moments where Jian Wen's character says to Felicity Jones's character, good luck, little sister. Like, have you even
Yeah,
spoken
right,
in this
exactly.
movie?
That's true, yeah.
And that's obviously because in the reshoots they maybe had a nice warm interaction or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's moments like that. It's just strange. Yeah.
Do
also,
you-
take out Tarkin. Just take him out.
Yeah,
I've thought about it.
do
I don't
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, unconvincing CGI. That's number one.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, regardless of what film it is, I would say again better characterization.
Sure.
Or just better character moments, and that's, I guess, why we've spoken about it. That's why they bring in indie film directors on big blockbusters now
Yeah.
to just get, because again, if it's just cardboard cutouts shooting at each other, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but again, with Rogue One, would you? How much more footage would you want?
Not more footage, just kind of tweak what they've already
Okay,
got. I found it. I think it would be more interesting to explore the dark side of the Rebel Alliance. Like there's a bit at the start where a guy shoots another guy in an alley. Just
Yeah,
so he
right.
can get away and
That's right,
and
yeah.
he doesn't get sprung, he doesn't leak all the information. But then nothing really more is kind of done with that. He talks about it a little bit, but it's not really covered. Like there's moments where they're screaming at each other on the ship because she's like, you were going to murder my father and whatever.
Yeah,
I think
right.
that's a good moment.
Yeah,
like there's glimpses of it, but it doesn't quite connect.
Yeah.
Good finale.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, again, and this is something where we're probably going to get less and less of, is better writing. Because again, it's a blockbuster and it's going all over the world where English is not necessarily the language they speak, and so the plot doesn't matter.
see, I don't know. I think
Well, I
people
mean,
are
the plot
wising up to that.
Yeah,
so
right,
I think
okay.
they might have to change it. Because
Okay.
look what happened to Transformers, the last one. Like, it probably, it probably still did well international. I'm going to look that up.
I bet it has.
While you're going to say a thing.
Look, it's it's. Can you fix? How do we fix Transformers?
Stop making them.
No, we have to fix it though. How would you? Oh, look, I'd take out. Well, I think we said during the
I changed
review,
the designs. That's one thing I
If you
changed.
took out all the Transformers it would be a different, better movie, I feel.
Right.
So either make it that medieval sci-fi fantasy movie or just burn every copy, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. They're unfixable. I give up. Reboot. Maybe the one set in the 80s or the 70s will be better.
Right, yeah. Okay, so Transformers adjusted for inflation is the lowest Transformers film if you don't count the original.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. It made more than the original.
Okay.
So internationally. So that's great. So it made 423 million, and Dark of the Moon, Wage of Extinction made 858 million. So that's quite a dip. That's less than half.
That's true.
Or more than half. Look, I didn't do the math.
No, I wasn't listening when you said the numbers, if I'm honest with you. So
Less.
Nice.
A lot less. That's all you need to know.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Here's a letter.
Okay.
This is from Charlie MacArthur.
Charlie MacArthur.
She says, "Hey chaps, just wanted to write in and share a bit of love and appreciation. That's very nice."
I reject it.
Wow.
I can't
You won't
be
reject
loved.
it in a moment. She listened to our podcast during early labour and while stuck in hospital waiting to be induced, and it provided an exceptional distraction from the pain.
Jesus Christ.
With a different kind of pain.
Did you play it on speaker? Did you have
Good
headphones on?
question, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That would be the perfect time to just play stuff on speaker. 'Cause
Definitely.
nobody
You
could
can get
stop
away
you.
with it, yeah.
I'm in labour! You could scream.
Well, that's great. I'm glad we were some
Yeah,
small
right.
comfort, because from my understanding of being in the room when somebody's in labour, labour's horrendous.
Yeah, right? The child is Marty, now 2 weeks old.
Sweet.
Uh,
Congratulations.
and The Weekly Planet and some other shows from Planet Broadcasting are getting her through some epic nighttime feeding sessions.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Thanks to the Do Go On back catalogue, she's learning.
Yeah, they're good.
There you go.
They're a good group of fellow
Eggs.
and yes,
They're
and
3 good
fellowettes.
eggs.
Yes. The one of them's a bad egg. I won't say who.
Yeah, he's a one rotten egg.
Yeah, it's Matt though.
It's Matt. The rottenest egg of all.
They're
Beauty
all-
rotten egg.
They're all great. Oh, that's awesome. That's really good news. I got a tweet here from Roger. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. Do you think we'll get tired of colourful comic book movies in the way we got tired of gritty Dark Knight-esque movies?
I won't, but
So-
I think people might.
So you more colour, but don't you think it could easily, like, it'll just go too far? Like, everything eventually goes too far.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I think that's what, like, because I remember when Bourne came out, I remember
Yes.
thinking, this is how I want everything to be.
Yeah, okay, sure,
And
sure.
then by the time the last one came out last year, I was like, I hate this.
Yeah,
I
that's
hate
okay.
this now.
Yeah, all right.
And now Kingsman's to me is like, oh, this is fun and whatever. But it also,
But I think we'll also burn out on that.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
Because it's fun now because it's fun and exaggerated and a little too far. But I think eventually we'll be like, I'd rather just see someone punch someone else and go back to Bourne.
yes.
Yeah.
But I think also every time this cycle comes around, it's better.
Yeah.
So
true.
when Bourne came out, like, action movies used to be gritty and realistic and boring.
Yeah, right.
And then they went ridiculous. And then it's the same way that, like, Kingsman's gone back to the kind of the Roger Moore kind of era of James Bond, but it's 1,000 times better.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I think every time it happens,
Except for the plot.
except for the plot, it gets, you know, I think it's gonna it burns out and then it gets good on the other end of the spectrum.
But
and
I
then
think
it burns out.
gun to my head, gun to my balls.
Sure.
Given the choice between super gritty superhero stuff and super colourful fun stuff, I'd rather go with the fun stuff.
So that's how I feel at the moment. But I think in,
Yeah, right, okay.
in 10 years I'll probably be, oh God, enough of this shit.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I feel like the super gritty 90s was like I've had my fill forever.
Right,
I
yeah.
think so. But I mean, I would like to see some. I would
Well,
like
but-
to see a Batman Year One, like even more real than. Not that Nolan's Batman trilogy was particularly real, but you know how there's
realer.
that. Is it called Batman Earth One? Have you read that?
Yeah, I have read that.
Which
yeah.
is sort of Batman in a more real world setting kind of thing. I think
where
that
like
would be
fires
fun.
his grappling gun and it just bird nests.
Yeah,
like,
right. I would
immediately,
kind
yeah.
of like to see a movie like that.
I think The Dark Knight was pretty much that to me. I think they're pretty close in terms
Yeah,
of that.
right,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
so but realer than The Dark Knight.
Realer
the
than that.
realest thing you've ever seen.
That's right.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get that in 15 years. When
Yeah,
it's-
exactly, yeah.
when movies go not fun again.
That's right.
But inevitably, when these trends come around, it's not the good movies that you're sick of. Like, you can release a gritty comic book movie now, and if it's good, and that's fine. Like that totally works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's not the good movies that ruin it. It's the mediocre movies.
It really is, yeah.
It's all the Matrix clones that we got after the Matrix. Yeah.
But I also think that there's and I think I've said this before, but there's sort of an inbuilt safety valve in that with comic book movies, in that it's very difficult to get up a comic book, like a superhero movie that isn't one of the big 2 or 3.
Right, yeah.
In the sense of like, it's easy to do a Matrix clone because you just have some generic guys jumping around and then you do the camera thing and it can be terrible. But it's very difficult to bring up a superhero property that isn't based in a comic book because you don't have the pre-established track record. You can't be like, I've invented these superheroes that never existed before and now they're in a movie.
Right.
These movies only get made because you go, it's Spider-Man and everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yes.
And so it can only really be made by a big studio.
Yeah.
And they have made some rotten ones, but they're getting better at it.
Yeah.
So
I'd agree with that.
yeah.
Okay. So all in all,
We're going to live forever.
yay!
Yeah.
That's the end of the show.
It is.
Yep.
Things that I say?
Do
I'll
the
say some
things,
things. I'll say some
please,
things.
if you could.
We're Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp. Do we want to do another commentary pretty soon?
Absolutely,
We'll
we
do
are.
one.
Yes.
Have we missed the boat for Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do we'll do
Doesn't matter.
We'll think of something.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Mr. Sunday Movies.
If you want to support the show, chuck in a buck, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies.
Yes.
You can click on the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description and buy some funny things
Yes,
on
yes.
Amazon. Or just your regular shop. You can do that.
It's get eggs.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Get eggs.
Eggs. Get eggs.
Get eggs.
Eggs. That is very funny. Now that I think about it. Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our themes.
Yep.
Thank you if you're buying a t-shirt on TeePublic. Thank you for listening to the show and being a weekly whacker to do and subscribing and leaving a nice review. That's always great. Thank you to everybody who says hello on the street if you see me.
Has that happened a lot to you recently?
A couple of times.
Very good.
Ran into somebody in a food court the other day.
Which food court?
The Melbourne Central Food Court.
What time?
Lunchtime-ish?
Very good.
I know, right? The perfect time for a food court meeting. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's cool.
It's always wild when I meet somebody in the wild
Yeah.
that listens to the show.
Yeah.
Because again, as we say, whenever I speak to somebody who I actually know who's listened to the show, they always go, I didn't understand what you're talking about, but you seem to be having a good time. So it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surreal.
It is. It's very surreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
That is everything.
All right. Next week, dunno. Something great though.
Yeah.
We might actually have another guest. We might be doing back-to-back
Oh,
guests.
what?
Yeah, we'll have to tee that up. We'll see how that bloody goes,
Oh,
Mason.
okay.
Also, Wil Anderson's podcast with Charlie Clausen, Tofop, is linked below. It's a laugh and a half, mate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's well worth picking up. So yeah.
And again, like we've said, there's a million episodes. There's a million backlogged
Yeah.
episodes. So if you're taking a long trip or you're giving birth and you've run out of episodes of our show.
Because the labour is so long.
So long.
Yeah.
196 episodes. I'm still going. What's happening? Give me the Wi-Fi password. I'm pregnant. I'm in labour. Give me the Wi, and then download some Tofop.
Exactly.
Have a bloody good time.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.